a Stuttering John Melendez roundtable discussion.
Welcome to Point Dabblepoint, a weekly discussion where we get caught up on This Week in Stuttering John, ball wash Kevin Brennan, and fantasize about beating up the guys who pick on us. I'm Carl Hamburger, and with me this week from the BS Show and the Uncle Rico Show, Stuttering John expert Shuli Agar is with us.
Carl, pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure to have you on Point Dabblepoint. Also with us, making his Point Dabblepoint debut from the Drew Lane Show, it is Brandon McAfee. What's happening, Brandon?
Hello. Thanks for having me, Carl.
I'm excited that you're here because you and I get to discuss Stuttering John from time to time over on the Drew Lane Show, and I know that you're following this pretty closely.
I decided to actually listen this week, and wow, I learned a lot of things.
Good. I'm looking forward to finding that out. Also, making his Point Dabblepoint debut from the Corn Diff YouTube channel, the show WGNN, and of course, corndiff.com. I am speaking of Corn Diff.
Oh my God.
What's happening, Corn Diff?
Man, thank you for having me on. How is everyone?
Buddy? The great Corn Diff in the house. You know, Corn Diff, I tried to get on previously. He's a tough guy to get on your show. It's very popular. Everyone's banging on his door. And eventually he responded and said, fine, if you'll stop bugging me, I'll come on Point Dabblepoint.
Thank you, Cole. Thanks
for being here. I appreciate that. So let's get right into the discussion. I have a lot of bullet points. I want to hear what you guys picked up on from the week. As usual, there's a lot going on in the Dabbleverse, or should I say the Middleverse.
Nice.
A lot going on because Voss and Bonnie are in now, which we'll get into that.
Yeah.
But first, I want to point out something because it shows how stupid John is. And I always find this fun. John's always trying to get these gotcha moments. And he sees Uncle Rico Show and Who Are These Podcasts and Potato Soup. And they'll go, hey, let's prove that John's a narcissist, or let's prove that John's a wet brain, or let's prove, they're always doing these things where we can kind of break down the video and say, yeah, this is obviously evidence that this is what's going on. So John thought he had a big gotcha this week. He played Bob Leavely, the Reverend Bob, talking about how he doesn't lie. He never lies.
Yep.
And he says, okay, so remember that when you see this next clip, Bob saying that he doesn't lie. And then he plays a clip of Bob saying that he has copyrighted the trumpet sound and that he's going to send a cease and desist to John, and that the trumpet sound from the Howard Stern show was always Bob all along. And John looks at Quadfather and goes, did I prove my point or what? And even Quadfather, who's trying to play along as you have to on his show, goes, yeah, he might be joking, John. It could be like a joke. I don't know about lying. Probably just like an obvious joke that everyone gets would be my thought. Did you see that, Shuli?
I mean, it's funny. Not only did I see it, but the way it works is like a week or two before these things happen, one of us, before the show starts, goes, hey, we should throw this out there tonight. And as dumb as all the suggestions are, nobody ever says, he's not going to bite on that. Nobody ever goes, there's no way he's going to buy that. Every time. And Bob is the king of those. Bob's like, we're going to talk about Velcro shoes. At one point, he's holding his feet up. It's like he's the best. He's the best at that. And it's phenomenal to see it happen, in real time, every time.
He falls for it every time.
And he played that clip like 17 times of Bob saying he doesn't lie. And for the payoff was nothing. It was nothing. It was
never a payoff.
Oh.
It took forever to get there. And that actually brings up another point. As I'm watching Stuttering John this week, he's getting really bad with scrolling Reddit. And Shuli and I have talked about this before. So as soon as John's out of his show prep, he's exhausted that and the super chats. Brandon's laughing like show prep. Yeah, I know. That was a joke. As soon as he's exhausted the super chats, whatever he wanted to talk about, he goes to Shuli's Anonymous or Hackverse or whatever. And he just starts scrolling up and down. And he's like, I saw this video. This is great. You're going to love this. He just starts scrolling up and down looking for videos. Now, I've said this to John, and recently Derek Quadfather said this to John. Hey, here's an idea. You see a video that you want to play on your show, copy the URL, paste it into your notes, and then you could just watch that video, get to it immediately when you want to on the show. John's response, Yeah. No, I know.
Oh, that's better than the response I thought it would be. Was I don't want to get started with all that shit. You know, it's always a mountain he's got to climb, no matter what it is.
Too much
It's a
effort.
bridge too far.
Yeah.
You've mentioned Quadfather twice now. Now, this was my introduction to him this week. Now, I normally never listen to the Stuttering John show. I enjoy it in clip form. Thank you,
Right.
gentlemen. And so I actually decided to jump in and listen to some episodes to really dive in and find out what the meat and potatoes of the Stuttering John show is. You know, what is he doing? What has he launched himself from
I'm sorry to cut you off, Brandon. Before you go any further, I just want to know, what were your initial reaction? Because I love people who only watch John through Shuli or who are these podcasts. I love people like actually sit down and watch the show. What was your initial reaction to what the show actually is?
a lot of nothing, and I really mean nothing, because there's gaps. There's many gaps. There's so many gaps that I couldn't believe that he actually puts this product out. And aside from that, no research, no prep whatsoever. It simply, I listened on a Tuesday where, oh my God, you couldn't believe how bad his show started, because the first guest, he canceled on me. He doesn't want to talk trash. And then his other guest, Quadfather, oh God, he had to take a shower. Oh my God. And now I learned about Quadfather this week, that Quadfather is a quadriplegic. He's got to take a shower. I completely understand this. But the next sentence that John comes in, this on Tuesday, the next sentence that comes out of his mouth is, "Where's my Klonopin? God, I got OCD, and I wouldn't wish it's the most debilitating thing you'd ever have. It's the most debilitating thing. Anyway, where's Quadfather? But it's anyway, my Klonopin, I need it." And
you forgot the best, where he goes, "How long does it take this guy to take a shower?" He goes, "It's an all-day thing."
Dude, he literally was told by the person who went on the show, "I have to wash my hair," and John didn't get the hint. He just doesn't want to be on your show every day. Quadfather's now the co-host of the Stuttering John podcast.
Yeah. At one point, John goes, "Do you just roll in there? How does it work?"
So, Brandon, the Tuesday episode was phenomenal because John was so put off. And I haven't seen John like this in a long time. But his first guest didn't show up, and everyone's standing him up. And then the super chats were coming in. So I think it was less than 2 hours in, maybe an hour and a half in, he goes, "All right, I'm just calling it. This just isn't working."
No, about an hour in, after he realized his guest, and I don't even know if it was a full hour. He just, it's an AMA. It's a ask me anything.
Right? Yeah. Just give me money, and I'll react to your insults.
Which turns into the occasional tenor, but everything is just an insult towards him whenever he reads one of these things. I couldn't do that. I wouldn't be able to endure it. I would get hurt myself personally.
We talked about this on your show, I think, where there's that episode of South Park where Cartman hires Butters to read all of the negative shit on social media. And it drives Butters crazy. Like, you can't ingest all of that negativity all day long nonstop. And that, plus the booze and the Klonopin.
It's one thing. Everybody has to have a thick skin. It's one thing to have a thick skin. It's another thing. Oh my God, for Stuttering John, it's incredible. I can't even talk about it.
I can't even imagine it.
We have been watching Behind the Paywall, and we watched the rest of the episode we started last night before PDP of Old Beer on the Balconies, where he has no guests, he has no format, he has no plan. So he goes, "We'll do a Q&A." And we've watched 2 full episodes, and out of 2 episodes, I'm talking, 40 minutes each one, he's had one question. 1 Q and 1 A. The rest is just, now, if he wants to do Q&A, he's going to get tons of questions, but it's all shit that's going to piss him off, Right. So at least he's got questions now if he wants to do it.
But that's what, and that's what I learned from this, is that he's just getting insult after insult. And I was thinking to myself, this is what he has propelled himself off of being the, most recently the Tonight Show announcer. And then I got to thinking, what is his highlight of the last 5 years?
Right.
5 years. What's the highlight? You can't go back to the Trump call.
I can tell
that's
you
6 years ago.
Oh, the Trump call was 6 years ago?
Correct.
Oh, so then that was my answer. I don't know.
Can we make it 7? I'll say the arm wrestling NFL thing.
I announced that.
So what is the highlight from the last 5 years then, Brandon?
I couldn't think. That's what I was. I wish someone would ask him that. I want to give him a tenner and ask him that on his next live show.
Oh,
But
you know what?
But he'll never be honest. Somebody asked him, name 3 regrets. These 3 things you regret. I don't remember which. Yeah, I don't remember which day it was, but
I mean, a lot of people can say like, hey, maybe it was a milestone episode. I reached episode 200, or maybe I had a great live show, or this went well for me. I don't know what he'd be able to come up with in the last 5 years. I really don't. I received $300 in super chats on this day. That was a good day.
Oh yeah, the day that after he made fun of my dad for having cancer, he came on his show to grovel, and a couple of people gave him $100 a piece, and he was beaming after that. He went on Keanu's show after that and was beaming. He's just like, I've been vindicated in all my awful behavior.
Victory lap John after that.
Right.
That was definitely a highlight.
You know what though, Brandon, just to answer your question, I don't know if it was a question or not, but I think what John would tell you is the Vice episode where he showed Anthony Cumia's tweet and outed Anthony as a mean jerk.
You're right. No, you're right. He did appear on television in the last year or two. You're right. And so that would be the highlight. That would be. You're correct. But unfortunately, you're right. But that was so embarrassing to him that I wouldn't hang my hat on that.
I wouldn't. That was ridiculous. No. You get $300 for outing his son. It seems like a ridiculous thing to do. Shuey, what were you saying about the regrets? So that was a great super chat because someone goes, narcissists can't admit that they have regrets in life. Can you name 3? And I asked him that when I did a show with him, face to face, I go, do you have any regrets? And he goes, yeah, I didn't play football in high school. And Andy's at my show and he goes, yeah, the thing he regrets is not setting records for his high school and wide receiver catches. Or
Carl, all this time later, it still was number 1 on his list of regrets. Unbelievable. And he goes, I'll give you 5. He goes, I'm such a narcissist. I'll give you 5. Not one of them was, I regret how things ended or didn't work out or something family, marriage, why. I regret anything on him. You know, he only regrets not playing football because in his mind, he'd have been the greatest football player in the high school.
His 3 regrets, and it took him a long time to get to the 3rd one. He goes, I have a lot. Yeah, name one. So yeah, he didn't play football because his penis was small in high school.
He didn't want to shower with dudes. That's right.
He didn't have any pubes. He didn't want to show him his bald.
Oh my God!
Which, if you're prepubescent, you probably won't be the best football player. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there.
I couldn't play because I didn't have any pubic hairs.
That's
right.
Thing. And then his second regret was buying like $1 million house that he lost money on. But even in that regret, he goes, but I got it on the ground floor and it seemed like a good investment. Like, okay, you're still the winner. But his third one that he finally came up with was being friends with Vince the lawyer.
I mean, unbelievable.
I don't know where they stand right now, just to be sure.
No one does. No one does.
Around 5'3", maybe 5'4", if they're lucky.
I see what you did there.
Thank you.
I see what you did. But yeah, I pointed out on WATP, how about burning the bridge with Howard Stern? Would that be a regret? Maybe going on the Adam Carolla show and saying you were underpaid 4 years after you were off the show and there was no reason to do that at all?
Yeah.
You're on there to promote Tahiti Village. Why are you bashing Howard Stern, you idiot?
I never thought I would see a day where Bob Levy, when we left off, would sit there one day and go, hey, man, I fucked up with Howard. You know, it shouldn't have went that way. And he has, and it's like, so it's possible, but you gotta do work on yourself, you know?
Yeah, that's a very good point, actually. The way that Bob has reflected on that experience and saying, I was the one who fucked that up.
Yeah.
I made a mistake. John could never do that.
No.
He played everything perfectly all the time. Corndiff, have you been checking out John this week? What have you been picking up on?
I didn't get to watch as much of it as I'd planned on, but I caught a little bit of him with Quadfather, and I didn't know that they were as close as they apparently are.
It's brand new. It's a brand new thing. Just the last 2 weeks.
Okay, so is he like a regular on there now?
Oh, he calls Quadfather. I think every episode asks him to come on the show. It seems like it, because John would brag about being able to do a show by himself, you know, because the rest of us can't do that. No, it's just that we actually have entertaining friends, John. That's why. But he brags about that, but then he always wants a co-host whenever he can get one.
Yeah.
But I have a theory that he keeps asking Quad to come on because he's sticking it to Kevin by showing I can have a guest on every day and not have to pay him. What do you think of that?
Yeah, there's some of that too.
Yep.
I gotta say,
I'm sorry, real quick, just before we move on from Quadfather, he called Kevin Brennan's wife a primate, and that was pretty based.
Oh, wow.
Did you catch that?
No, on John's show with
on
John.
John's show, he was making a joke. Yeah, she's really. He's trying to say private, and he says primate, and then John's like, "Oh, I gotta kick you off." He didn't.
Of course not.
I kind of like, I don't know, he reads the super chats when John pretends like, oh, I can't read that one. He'll actually pick it up and start reading it. I do enjoy that Quadfather reads those super chats.
I called out Quadfather Derek recently, and I guess I've heard they played it on BYB. Who would know whatever clip they played? But I did see this week, and I wish I had the clip, that Quadfather was laughing in John's face. There was something that came out as a super chat or something.
I saw it. It was when he was challenging Melton and Tukey to a fight in Vegas, and then they cut to Quad, and he's just laughing while he's doing it.
Okay. Because this whole time I'm going, what is Quadfather doing? What's this bit? What's the end game? Okay, if he's playing a role right now, that's fine.
Well, again, we get to this point with a lot of people, all right? And we always come to the same crossroads. What is the payoff?
Yeah, right. Because Stevie Lou fucked it up.
But everybody's like, it's like they go undercover and then they fall in love with who they're supposed to bust. It's like they forget, it's Donnie Brasco. They forget who they are, and now they're helping the guy. And then when they get burnt, they're like, what the fuck?
So is he the new DG? Is he just the expected co-host for the time being until they somehow have a big blow up?
Absolutely. 100%.
Hey, Brandon, the answer to that is yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm new to this. I didn't know. Maybe I thought these two really hit it off.
Hey, Brandon. No shit, Sherlock. No shit. Well, you think they're going to have a falling out at some point? Yeah, I think so.
A month from now, you're going to hear him go, I'm glad your spine's broken. What do you think of that? You know? It's going to get hot, man.
That's also got his criminal record, and you won't believe. You won't believe what he was able to do when he could walk.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe that's the payoff. Is that the payoff? He just gets up and walks. He goes, John, go fuck yourself. He just gets up and walks off. That would be a home run.
Oh, if he challenges him to a boxing match, that would be fun. I'll punch Quadfather right in his stupid face with 4-ounce gloves on.
John was pretty serious about this fight, though. I mean, for a 60-year-old guy, he really wants to throw knuckles, huh?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he's definitely all about it. All he needs
2 minutes with him and 2 minutes with him.
Yep. No, not 2 minutes, 2 rounds. He wants
2 rounds.
2 rounds with Melton first. Melton, who has a foot on him and probably 200 pounds on him. Not a fair fight, I would say.
I want to fight him first because I hate him most.
Yeah, we'll take out Patrick Melton first, and then Rocco, and he calls them both fat fucks. I've hung out with Rocco.
I've met Rocco too, and he's in pretty good shape.
He was in Detroit with us, yeah.
He's in better shape than me.
But John claims that he's going to definitely fight these guys. He's looking forward to it for $15,000. That's all he needs.
Oh, wait a minute. But I thought
$15,000.
No, I thought he would do it because his family's the most important thing in his life, and both these people have gone after his family. So I don't know why money would be involved, Carl.
He doesn't work for free, Shuley. He's told us to Ray DeVito over and over again.
The goalposts have moved, though, because when he first said it, he first said, I'll get the ring and we'll fight in Vegas.
Yep.
Since then, he's changed his parameters to he needs 15,000, he needs this, he needs that. It's
he needs
half
up front. Could you imagine if Melton gave him $7,500? There's no fucking way he shows up. He's like, I win again.
Carl, isn't it funny? Now he's okay with half up front. When we offered him half up front, it was an insult. It was an insult.
That's right. I forgot about that. God,
yeah.
So long ago.
Oh, we never forget. You can't beat this, John. You can't beat this.
I forgot you were lined up to fight him yourself, weren't you?
Please, we're on challenge number 22 of this fucking idiot challenging people to fight him. These challenges are as realistic as when you asked your friend, what would you do if you won the lottery? What would you buy? That's how realistic this is. It's fantasy land. This guy just had a stress test. His heart's a fucking mess. His life's a mess. And people are like, can you believe he backed out? Of course. He's not going to do anything. All he does is run his mouth.
Correct. Court and Deb, you started talking about Quadfather, and we all got excited. What were your other observations from checking out John this week?
It was the parts that I caught. It was just him. Whatever Quadfather was talking about, John had to turn it into some sort of brag on himself, like he'd done that in the past. That was the only pattern I was noticing, was he kept bragging on himself no matter where the stories went.
Yeah, John likes having people on that he believes to be beneath him. That's why DG can be on the show, or Quadfather, Stevie Lou, because he can brag and be like, oh, well, I've played, Stevie Lou's on there talking like he's a comic, which is funny. And John's like, oh, well, I actually was a headliner and I did this club and that club. And it's just like, that's what John needs in life, is to be better than the person he's talking to.
Yeah.
I get the sense he does that at the bar too. He made a comment the other day. We played it on WATP, where he was talking about how smart he is and how stupid everyone else is. And he goes, there's people at the bar who are contractors and plumbers. And you can tell that he thinks he's smarter than them. He's like, but they're great people. They could be like, he caught himself.
Oh, wow.
So I can be friends with those low lifes.
Can you believe an architect didn't know what the real color of the sun was? That idiot.
The real color of the sun. Real quick, we got some super chats in here, some support. I do appreciate that. I'm going to get into Rich Voss and Bonnie in just a second. Don coming in, became a new YouTube member. Thank you very much, Don. If you become a YouTube member, you get to watch the 2 bonus episodes we do every single month. I did one with Blind Mike talking about Julia Fox's autobiography, which is bonkers. And I did one this week with Dick Masterson, The Dick Show. We talk about a lot of things. One of the things we talked about was queer kid stuff, talking about Earth Day. The queer kid stuff is a crazy show.
It's nuts.
It's nuts. It's for 4-year-olds.
Yeah.
And they're talking about how the world's going to end. Like, well, maybe wait till they're 7 to break that news. Fucking crazy people. But we also talk about the financial feminist, or not autobiography, her book that talks about how the financial feminist is nuts, because she wrote a book for women about finances, and she goes, you can buy whatever you want, but only buy stuff that you like. Don't buy stuff that makes you upset. It's like, wow, this is great advice. And that was over chapters and chapters. She kept repeating that. Anyway, not the point. The point is, he joined our membership. Like Neil just gifted one. Thank you very much. Turn on accept gifts and memberships in YouTube. And then you can get these bonus episodes as well. And you can watch. You need a filter, Julie. We're going to get you a filter.
I know. Can we have a less Jewy version of me filter, if that's possible?
Just a nose.
Just a nose. Yeah, somebody make me a nose, please.
Nose.
Scroll. Go ahead.
Also, if you become a member on our Patreon or YouTube, you can watch WTP live. We record every Wednesday and Saturday, and we send out the link to those people who are members. So thank you very much for that. James Quinn, $2. Shuli and Carl is chocolate and peanut butter. Bob replacement? Yeah, fuck yeah. I'm gunning for that guy's job. I'm taking the Bob chair.
It's a hot commodity right now.
Mason in Portland gifting one. Thank you very much, Mason in Portland. We'll see you at Hackamania, hackamania.com. Promo code WATP, 20% off your tickets. May 31st through June 2nd in Vegas. Barnes and Noobs. Barnes and Noobs is one of my favorite guys in Dabbleverse Anonymous. Puts together a lot of great videos. SJ constantly has to draw attention to Quad's disability and can't just treat him like a human. All their interaction does is shine a light on John's desperate need to grandstand and come across as sympathetic. He wrote that 20 minutes ago. I mean, that's what we've all been talking about. Yes, Barnes and Noobs.
You know what I heard? You know what I heard John ask Quad? He said, "Have you ever had sex with a female quadriplegic?"
Come on.
Is it like magnets? Can you guys even get close to each other or what?
Couldn't believe he asked him that question.
He's such an idiot.
That's incredible.
But of course, eventually, he's like, eventually it gets to like the size of his cock and like, what it looks like. He's going to be sending. You should send him a picture, Quad. He wants to see it.
I like Quad.
Miss Charlie loves $2. Get ready for Shuey to step on jokes. Check audio.
Yeah, I heard nothing. I'm looking at that picture.
I'm ready. Erica Ann, member for 8 months. Thank you very much. Afternoon, fellas and Corn. Great panel today, and a very happy birthday to the boss, Anthony Cumia. Ant, happy birthday, buddy. I would send him a message wishing him a happy birthday, but I think that's gay.
I know.
Oh,
Pretty sure texting a guy happy birthday is gay.
I'll put us in a group thread, and I'll jump on the grenade, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. Kyle Lakey, $5. Carl, let's just save time and Venmo me the cash now. If you insist, we'll go through the motions, and I'll take it at the poker table in Vegas. Oh,
Wow.
Kyle, it's on. Can I tell you something, Kyle, about my Hold'em skills? I haven't played in over a year. Watch out.
Look at those are the people that crush you too, man. People that don't know what the fuck is going on.
I used to play so much poker, and I just don't do it anymore. I got to start getting games together again. Jay Wolfenstein, $5. Carl, looked into TSN like you asked, and it's true. It's fake. It's all fake. Hi, Shirley. Oh, awkward.
Can't trust those people.
That's
God
my
damn it.
PI.
God
Jay
damn it.
Wolfenstein.
My PI.
My PI. Holy
my
shit.
PI, Dustin.
Dustin, not his nephew Justin, his PI Dustin.
That's you don't even know who he is because it's not even his real name, you idiots. You
Don't worry, I threw him off the scent. Don't worry.
fucking idiots.
I got a private investigator. So Dustin's probably. I'm just going to save you the time, Dustin. I've had 3 MIPs all before I was. That's it. But I'm just going to save you the time. They're actually good stories if you want to hear about them.
This is my favorite. This is from the Chuckster, right? Let me look real quick. The Chuckster in Dabblers Anonymous. And this is John talking to his PI, Dustin. Justin, what do you mean you can't be my PI anymore? Sorry, Uncle John. Mom said you're a drunk loser, and to stop this PI nonsense, I need to focus on schoolwork, so stop texting me. I love this. I love the Gold's Gym. The attention to detail here is fantastic.
Chuckster's one of the best, man.
He
Unbelievable.
Really is. It's great work. Timothy McDonough, $5 says, does corn to smoke weed from a corncob pipe or something? He looks as stoned as a popcorn kernel. Corndiff, comment?
No more so than usual. I mean, but not a corncob pipe. No, different.
You're a joint guy. Yeah, I could hear it. I could hear it in his voice. He's old school, man.
That's such a stoner thing to say. Are you stoned? Not more so than usual.
Right.
Right. So yes. Okay, got it.
It's like Howard was interviewing
state.
Be Real from Cypress Hill, and he goes, I cut back a lot. He goes, you don't smoke every day? He goes, not so much every day.
Yeah. I wait an hour after I wake up now. It's way different. All right. The Shuley Network coming in with 10 gifted memberships.
No.
Frog, get the fuck off the account, you idiot.
No, thank you, Frog. Thank you very much. Thank you, the Shuley Network. Yes, 10 gifted memberships. I don't have a drop for that. But if I did, it would sound like this.
Shut the fuck up, asswipe, and suck my cock.
Thank you very much, the Shuley Network. And guys, turn on accept gifted memberships for that. Cardiff says, really? Vegetables on PDP? Hex!
Is there any kind of beef between you and the potato?
Yeah, good
Damn
question.
potato. There's always something going on with that one. I just got to keep an eye on him.
Oh,
Yeah.
something we should know about?
I don't know yet. I'll keep.
You ever
everyone
press
abreast.
you and be like, hey, man, I was doing this shit long before you got here. You ever pull that on you?
Yeah, let's start some beef right now. Let's go. What do you got to say about Cardiff, this fucking hack Cardiff? What do you think about that?
Very territorial, those guys over there in the World Order section of YouTube.
Joe Dicker gifted 5. Thank you very much, Joe Dicker. So much appreciated, guys. Count Connor, $2. Is corn diff kosher for Passover?
It is in my house.
Good to know.
Bill Collins, $5 says, hey, fellas, love all your shows. Thanks, Carl, for turning me on to Drew and Mike. Question, why are you guys like Rocco turning into DV gatekeepers? Oh, what does that mean? Dabbleverse gatekeepers?
What'd you do?
Why are
Who'd you not let in, Carl?
Wait, hold on a second. Why are guys like Rocco turning into Dabbleverse gatekeepers?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Does he mean because Rocco doesn't talk about Stuttering John anymore?
Oh, he's not?
No.
He's done?
Tukey doesn't really talk about Stuttering John. Neither does El Horrible.
Wow.
He's kind of moved
Somebody
on.
got a cease and desist, huh?
He's kind of moved on from that. He figures there's enough shows covering it, I think.
Okay.
I did a great Tukey soup this week where Tukey was Tukey Brennan. He had the bald cap on and the stupid headphone microphone set. I just love Rocco's Kevin Brennan impression. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Did he draw something on his lip, like the herpes sores?
He put a pepperoni.
Oh, that's
He
great.
pinned a giant pepperoni to his
That's
lip.
great.
It's
That's
fucking
what makes him
amazing.
great. His attention
Comedy
to
gold.
details. 100%.
Comedy gold. Linden $42. If SJ was a fish, no bait is needed on your hook. Yeah. No shit. It doesn't take much. Mighty Horse, member for 1 month. Carl, what's your take on the whole Federica Bimmel situation? Linger longer. Carol Dillon with €5 says his eulogy to Nicole Brown and Ron Goldman last 1 second before managing to say he was living in a high rise at the time.
And real quick, back to the subject of Quad and him using his. You remember that time he fake cried and told that story about the dad with the kid in the wheelchair, Carl?
Yes.
He's always kind of used handicapped people as like a platform for him to show,
How great he is.
his range. Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Past $2 says I hear Shuley wears a yarmulke under his hats.
Or a yarmulke, whatever.
Yarmulke.
Is that how you spell that?
Uh-huh.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
Really?
It's like Krzyzewski for Duke. It doesn't make any sense, but
Right.
it's how it's done.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. See, I am a musician, so I think
Right.
Yamaha, and I'm thinking yarmulke.
Exactly.
Add a K. Count Connor $5 says how long till Quadfather skips John's show because he has to go for a run.
This fucking guy tells me he's jogging. I don't even know.
Well,
Is that
he's
possible?
training for a half marathon. I gotta let him do his thing. Mrs. Charlie loves $2 says Joe is a kid diddler. Check his background. Not good.
Uh-oh.
Which Joe are we talking about?
Yeah, and which kid?
Michael P. $10 says, ever notice that SJ always relates current events to the recent movies he's watched? I can't wait when he discovers a golden ticket and a Slim Fast against Tour Factory. Go Bills.
It's a great take, and he's right. He's right.
right,
He
yes.
always ties it into whatever shitty
Dude,
movie
Remember
he could watch.
the Howard Stern show on 9/11?
Yeah.
John's in the studio. They're talking about what's her nuts?
Pamela.
Pamela Anderson. And
Yeah.
how hot she was. And John just brought up a fucking movie in the middle of planes flying into the World Trade Center.
Hold on. Somebody's saying Kevin was sniping, and he's saying I was going for the pipe. Kevin, this is a tobacco vape. You can get it. I know you're old. You don't understand how this stuff works, but that's what this is, man. Don't worry.
John's big fucking tats. $5 says John didn't out Kumi on that Vice show. He outed some guy named Andy Espresso and his kid. You're right. It wasn't even. I don't think Anthony had his original account at that point.
Wow, that's true.
AO 1012 $2. John is less embarrassing than KB on Twitter now. I don't follow Kevin on Twitter, but the guy is going through a hard time right now with his show and his life. You know what I think it all is? And someone brought this up, maybe on your show, Shuley. Someone brought up that cold sore came around just as Neil Brennan's Netflix special dropped.
Ooh.
Yep.
It is stressing him out. And I got to tell you, I watched Neil Brennan's latest stand-up set, and I enjoyed it more than I should.
I like the latest one. I really thought it was
Yeah,
good.
me too. I enjoyed it more than I should, just knowing that millions of people are watching that and 800 people are watching Kevin Brennan. It made me
Fantastic. Fantastic. I love it.
He's
I
done that
gave
very
this.
well.
I watched it. I did a standing ovation when it ended
Yes.
in my living room like an idiot. But that's how much I loved it. It was fantastic.
Yeah, the whole thing about the athletes kind of dragged down. But other than that, it was a pretty good set. Past member for 2 months says, Shuli looking like a Jewish boogaloo boy today. They will kosher us. They will kosher us.
Thank you, Past.
Dang Lizard, €5. Dude, I want to know everything about Dang Lizard. I got to get him on a show.
He's phenomenal.
He is there in every fucking chat, always supporting. I appreciate that. I'd like to ask SJ about his recent career. If he wants to record a comedy special to show the haters, etc., he changes topic and starts to list glory days. Yeah. Isn't that interesting? Every time you're just like, well, John, what's next for you, though? But what are you going to do?
Yeah. That's what I'm curious about. I want to know what the next phase is, which is why I brought up the question, what was the highlight of the last 5 years? What's the highlight going to be of the next 5?
Oh, okay. Well, I'll get back to you, TJ, in just a second. Since you brought that up, I have a clip from yesterday's show. I was taking some timestamps before the show today so that we could check out what he's talking about. So that's a great question, Brandon. You know, John's out in Hollywood. He has an agent, and he's out there because he wants to go on some auditions. He wants to get a sitcom. Let's see what's doing.
How are your auditions going? I got nothing. And now I finally learned why. Jesus. Apparently, SAG-AFTRA, at least this is what I was told.
See, even he knows this. He's full of shit right here. Apparently, well, this is what I was told. And by the way, he was told this by his agent, who's supposed to be getting him auditions. Listen to this. This is crazy.
SAG-AFTRA is still striking.
So now he goes to Google to look it up. He's like, so he calls the agent, like, how come I don't have any auditions? He's like, well, the strike, John. Obviously, that's why. He's just like, I didn't know there was still a strike. All right, well, let me know when you get me auditions.
That's another thing is typing. God damn it.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
No, it says it ended, but then this guy was saying he's got no work right now because something's still going on.
His agent told him he had to take a shower for 2 hours.
I mean, is his PI his agent as well? Because I mean, he's getting bad information, is what I'm saying here.
Yeah, no shit.
With SAG-AFTRA, I don't know. I got to do some research. I'm not gonna do it here, but
No.
I haven't gotten shit.
No, you haven't.
I told my manager, I'm like, dude, what the fuck is going on? I don't get anything.
What a great client. Not only is he unbookable, he's also a pain in the ass. What the fuck?
Okay,
Yeah,
so go ahead.
Yeah, he's in a meeting right now. Can I take a message? Yeah, ask him what the fuck is going on, man. The fuck?
What a douchebag.
So he legit thinks that the next stage of the career is going to be landing a sitcom, maybe landing, or is he shopping for like reality TV bits or something?
All of it, yes. He'll take anything. Yes. He just
Shopping. He goes shopping for cat litter. This guy is shopping for a sitcom. What are you talking about?
Is there an app for that? Can you?
I didn't know. I assume he's open for anything when it comes to Hollywood. So if they would take him on, obviously one of the certain reality shows are too big for him, but there's so many platforms now that you'd think that one would be able to pick up a Stuttering John.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
well, he does have something in the works. He's currently waiting. He's got a $15,000 offer to fight an onion and a puppet. So he's waiting to hear back on that.
He's like, I'm submitting you, but there hasn't been anything really. But in his defense, the studios have slowed down. They literally have slowed down. That's a fact.
I mean,
there's not as many gigs that are open right now.
If you're an agent, this is your dream client. Just a big dummy that you can feed any line of bullshit to, and he'll never question you on it.
So here's how this works, John. I just want to point this out to you. People who are good at their job get work. It's how it's worked for all of existence. If you were a good actor, if you were good at what you do, you would get auditions, you would get gigs. You suck. No one's interested in you. That's what's going on right now. Can I just make a point here? Because I didn't know this was going to happen, but when I pull clips on WATP, I noticed that he usually finishes thoughts with a giant swig of beer.
Yes.
So I usually pull the clip so I get to like this point where he's all the way tipped back with the beer. And then I go, okay, that's the end of the clip. You guys have those transitions that you do, Uncle Rico. Maybe it should just be John chugging the beer in between.
It might be.
It's how he ends every fucking thought that he has. And it's like on to the next thing.
It is his
his memory. He's like, what was I talking about? It doesn't matter.
It's called the beer bookend.
Right.
Yeah, right.
The prosecution rest slug. That's what that is.
Yes. All right. Let's check out. So Rich Voss was on Jim and Sam yesterday.
He was
Sirius
great,
XM.
man. He was so funny on there.
So it was so fantastic. And I love the fact that Rich brought up the fact that he put a very simple throwaway tweet out in a thread between John and Chad Zumock, and John reacted like a lunatic, like he always does, because John hates the word middle.
Yeah.
Rich said, "Oh, I don't usually get involved in middle drama," and John lost his mind, went on his show, trashed Rich Voss, saying he didn't care about the victims of 9/11. I mean, we've covered this. I don't want to get too into it. It's a crazy story if you don't know. But what's great is that Rich went on the Jim and Sam show and brought it up, and they talked about the Dabbleverse and Stuttering John and me and Shuley and all that kind of stuff. And then they changed subjects, and then Sam Roberts brought it back to the Dabbleverse again, which props to Sam for doing that, because he knew, like, this is an interesting topic. We should get more into this.
Yeah. Oh, don't kid yourself. Sam's in this shit. He's sitting here pretending, because I think I heard. No, Sam. You listen.
Well, I kind of was paying attention with the catalytic converter thing. It's like, Sam, you know everything that's going on. This is great. I love it. But on that episode, Rich said, I did a podcast with Bonnie. My wife hates me. And we talk about it's going to come out this Friday. Well, today's Friday. So the episode has come out. And I wanted to play some of this, and maybe we can. You know what? I have it right here on this tab. We can break this down a little bit.
Yeah, but who would even bring that to the light? Anyhow,
I'm just saying that's like something he feels.
So he went on his podcast.
It's like when people call me fat on Instagram. I go, "Oh shit, I've been found out."
Yeah, and then he went on his podcast, and this is the funny thing too. He's like, "Fuck Rich Voss." This, like, I don't know if he called me a hack, which is the furthest thing in life. And he posts on Twitter pictures of him like headlining like a Laugh Factory somewhere. All right, I didn't
even know that. John had approved. So Voss always calls everyone a middle act. That's like his thing. Very funny, and most people just rolls off their back. Like even Chad Zumock was just like, whatever.
No, it's not most people call it. It's comics. Comics. It rolls off their back.
Of course. No one cares, but John took offense to it. So John's response, I didn't even know this. He had to post photos of him headlining clubs.
Yeah. He
come on.
His PI opened up the evidence locker and got the stand-up gig photos for him to. I mean, insanity.
He takes things so fucking literally. Hey, literal John, Voss is busting your balls, but actually, Voss didn't know John's a comic, as we're gonna find out in just a moment.
Even really know he was a comic.
But that's
because I didn't even really know he was a comic. Join the club.
How do you think the people felt after the show that they just watched?
Right.
I mean, my God.
Dear Stuttering John, you're not a comic. You used to read ridiculous questions to celebrities that Fred and Jackie and Howard wrote. That was your peak in life.
I didn't know he was a comic. Chad, I worked with him, so I didn't even know. All right.
Well,
and I got to point this out too, because Rich Voss has been touring the U.S. doing comedy clubs for 4 decades.
Yeah,
Rich
quite
Voss
some
has
time.
been in this game for a long time. And this was the thing when I talked to Chrissy Mayer after the famous "I didn't realize you dabbled in comedy" incident, that Chrissy Mayer is also touring around. She goes, "Well, I never see his poster up at clubs." Like, people know, comics know when other comics are out on the road. They see their posters. They go to the club. They see who was there, who's coming up. They see that.
Yeah.
John's not in that. He's not doing that.
No, and Rich, I mean, it's not just clubs. Rich works everywhere, all across the country. Clubs, theaters, he does a lot of AA stuff, big corporate stuff. The guy, I mean, he wrote for the Oscars for Chris Rock. Like, the guy is legit, and for him to bust your balls is a pat on the back, is
Correct.
Rich saying, "You're okay. You're one of us," kind of, right?
I had Pat Oates on my show. We were playing John freaking out about this. And that was Pat's initial reaction. It's just like, it's amazing he's acknowledging these assholes. Just the fact that Voss is even paying attention to know that they were having a feud and now they're making up. And that's crazy. Like, just be happy about that.
Yeah, be happy that Voss even knows what the fuck's going on between you two. It's like, he's right. Pat's 100% right. The fact that Voss is involved is crazy. But what's funny is he texted me because I sent him a text asking him, you want to come on Rico? And John blew up. And I don't know if he's going to talk about it, actually. I'll let you play the clip. I don't know what
he does address that.
Okay.
Now you do. He's made it clear.
Hey, I'm a headliner.
You're going to make jokes about me. You're going to make jokes about me being a headliner.
Well, then he brought up on this podcast, which these other guys reviewed. I'll talk about them in a second.
Okay, first of all, there's people that might not know who these people are. Chad Zumock is just...
Yeah, he's just a comic, a road
a
comic.
middle.
A middle.
And he was like, didn't he go to jail and stuff?
No, there was a thing with him, with whatever, you know. I talked to him on the phone the other day. He did sound good. He did sound like clear-headed, but maybe...
Look at Bonnie's face right there. Rich goes, I talked to Chad. He seems like he's doing well. Bonnie goes, I don't know about that. Because Bonnie's going to tell a little anecdote about being on MLC.
I was on Kevin Brennan's podcast.
Well, how did you get that?
I mean, I lucked out. They reached out to me. But it was not fun being on there with him. He was aggravating, to say the least.
Okay. Well,
so
I talked to him on the phone. He sounded.
But it's because he's like in and out of addiction problems.
Well, who knows?
Okay.
Yeah. You know.
So then we got
Bonnie. I've been playing Bonnie drops on WATP for about 6 years now.
What is this garbage? How do they have a podcast? This is bullshit.
Because she really does just say some crazy shit. And like, yeah, I think he went to jail. He's got addiction problems. She just throw the shit out there. It's like, yeah, I was on a podcast with him one time. These are my takeaways from it.
I mean, those two together, I remember going to a live My Wife Hates Me with Ron Bennington as their guest.
Yeah.
And they just fucking destroyed. Like, she's so quick. He's so fucking quick. They're deadly, those two. They really are.
Brandon, you've been in radio your entire life. Should you be talking about people having addiction problems and going to jail? Is that could that be a problem when you broadcast things like that?
I think she knows something we don't. I don't know. He shut that down pretty quick.
He did, but it seems like she's just ready to make all sorts of allegations here. Which
let her roll, let her cook.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah. What do you want? Let's go.
at Stuttering John, who, if you're not old like us, you might not know, he was on Howard Stern for years.
Then he was
years.
on Leno. He was the announcer.
How did he get that?
Yes, Bonnie is killing it right now. You know that after that he was on the Tonight Show. Oh yeah. Oh, I forgot about that. We all did. No one cares.
Amazing.
Isn't this great, Gordon? I just, and they talked about this on Jim and Sam when Voss brought this up. They're like, "Oh, you just entered the Dabbleverse." He's like, "Well, I don't know what you're talking about." It's like, yeah, these two are all in that right now in the Dabbleverse.
He maybe because I think Leno and Stern didn't like each other, so he stole him from Stern.
To try to like.
You know, I think, I don't know, but Stuttering John had
stealing your turd,
like
even.
But Stuttering,
amazing, fucking amazing.
She's not wrong.
No, she's not. She's got it, and they're actually like, yeah, I'm not sure, but they're pinpoint accurate at this point. They're just sitting there going, oh yeah, he was on Leno. Why was he on Leno? Oh, because Leno and Howard had a thing, and so they hired him away to piss off Howard. Oh yeah, sounds about right.
John he must have been making decent money with Stern and phenomenal.
I just
money
realized
with
they're probably gonna listen to this and now be mad at everything I'm saying.
Nope.
No,
I'm being
you're on a
dragged
roll.
in.
Well, you're dragged in because
I'm just trying to set it up for people.
Well, so then
I don't care. Don't drag me in.
He
don't call me fat. That's
right.
what
he also put like I said, pictures of him. I'm a headliner. Whoa, relax.
I think he is a headliner.
So
and Chad Zumock is also a headliner. And I think you're wrong, Rich.
So not only that, he on his podcast, which I didn't listen to until somebody else sent me another podcast reviewing him, which I'll talk about in a second. So he also you
didn't listen to his podcast. You listened to someone else who listened to his podcast.
Reviewing it. And those guys were good.
Because they were 100% on your side. They never
trashed us.
They did not trash you at all.
No, but
from what I heard, it was 100% retrash. So of course, that would stand to reason that you're like, these guys are good.
No.
All right. So I wrote down a note when I saw this part of it. I went, maybe I should start praising other podcasts.
Yeah.
I'm doing this all wrong. Here I am bashing podcasts, and then they ignore me. But if I was out there going, this Rich Voss guy, what an amazing podcaster he is, could be getting some good press out of it.
Yeah. I you know, we all have that thing where if somebody's on your side, you're like, this guy's pretty good. Like we all have that in us, you know, so that's not crazy. So,
but yeah, Bonnie's calling him out for this. But Bonnie, both things could be true. Maybe we did a good job of breaking this down, and we gave Voss a lot of credit. Both things are true on this one.
Oh, no. Okay, wait 1 second. So then in 2001, 9/11 happened, and Stuttering John was doing.
I didn't mean to laugh at 9/11. I was thinking about that you both have speech impediments.
9/11.
You just
Shut
swallow
up.
it so hard. Why is that?
No,
why
calm
do you just
down.
own it?
All right, fatso. So,
Oh my God.
Look at you.
I guess it's
Come on,
true.
get into the whole
I guess
screen.
it's true.
So, I was supposed to do a fundraiser. He asked me the last minute to do this fundraiser at one of Trump's casinos for 9/11, and I said yes. But I
But
was
were
the
they
last
raising money for the victims of the family?
firemen or something.
Oh, okay.
I was a last minute add-on. I think it was Florentine, Modi, and him, and I was the last minute. Well,
Okay, so I have to tell you guys a story because my buddy Vinny Paulino last weekend just happened to do shows with both Florentine and Voss, and the three of them got together for breakfast one morning, and they were talking about this specific show.
Right.
So John's whole thing was Voss doesn't care about victims of 9/11 because he was supposed to be on this charity show we did for 9/11, and he canceled. But what's crazy about this is that the show was the week of 9/11. It was like that weekend. Now, I don't know if you guys were alive during 9/11, Corn Diff.
I was, yes.
Yeah.
He's
Brad
high as a
Dodd?
kite.
I had plans that weekend too. Yes, it was my sister's wedding.
Okay. So we all remember this time. There wasn't a lot going on, right? There wasn't a lot that was open, a lot of things happening. The NFL shut down, the whole thing. So there's no fucking way they organized a benefit show the week of 9/11. So it happened Tuesday morning, and then Friday or Saturday, they already have a benefit show for it. This had to have been booked way in advance of that. And then they turned it into a 9/11 benefit.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Well,
Because how else did that even make sense?
Well, I can tell you one thing's for sure. If John wasn't making money on this show, he would not be doing a 9/11 benefit show that weekend. I can promise you.
I probably agree with that. I don't know all the facts, but it's probably true. So the fact that they had this show, it was booked, and then they're like, oh, shit, 9/11 happened. Let's make it a 9/11 charity show so we don't look too bad. We don't want to Gilbert Gottfried this. We don't want to seem insensitive. And then they ask Rich to come on it. So in that scenario, Rich is not responsible for ticket sales at all.
No, he's a last minute.
Have already been sold. Yeah, it's a last minute addition to the show.
Plus, understand that a lot of these benefits, there's a budget that they have that they use. So paying the talent is part of that budget. It's not like you're telling people I'm doing this for free. You'll get paid, but I've seen comics. I've done benefits where comics have taken the money and given it right back to the people.
You should. Yeah, you should. That's what you should do. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't, but I mean, I've seen other people.
I mean, if you're Jewish, you don't have to, obviously. But
what about me? Hello.
It's like when the bachelor party 50-50 raffle, and then you're like, we're raising money for you, man. You keep it. It's
exactly.
Like, thanks for the $60. It's amazing.
I think, and I don't even know, I had another date somewhere, but it was on hold because of 9/11. And then they go, okay, we're going to do it. So I had to cancel it, and I was there.
That makes nothing but sense.
Mm-hmm.
So Voss is already booked for that weekend. 9/11 happens. They go, hey, Rich, we have a show in Atlantic City. Do you want to be on it? And Rich is like, yeah, I don't know. My show's happening. So sure. And then the show that he already has booked is like, nope, we're actually going to open up. Let's do it. And Rich is like, oh, okay, yeah, that was my first obligation. That's what I have to do.
Absolutely.
Right. They're put in the last minute. Anyhow, he's bringing up on his podcast what a fucking scumbag I am for canceling him 23 years ago.
Yeah.
23. Let it go. I'm living rent free in your head. So,
Oh God, please don't do those kind of sayings.
they're good sayings.
I know they're just so hacky.
That's hacky, living rent free in your head. You know.
Yes, you say it all the time.
Well, then that means I like the saying.
Yeah. Well,
And
don't.
maybe you don't like. Okay, don't.
It's you know what it is. It's from
So Bonnie was upset that I called them an old bickering married couple, but I mean, what the fuck else are we watching right now? Oh my God, I don't like the way you cut your toenails. Please, you got to stop doing it like that. In the kitchen, come on. All right, this is not a show.
I remember one episode. She goes, "Do you have to breathe that way?" And I thought, "This is a great show. This is a great show."
It's boring as shit.
I love when she yells
I
at him.
can't fucking take it.
Oh, I didn't know that she was the
That's
the
Bonnie.
originator of those. That's great.
Yeah, all of those drops.
Who fucking cares?
Those are all the first time we reviewed. My wife hates me from like 2018 or something like that. This has been going on for a while.
the program. It's from your program. Why do you get so mad? We're just
I'm not
joking
mad. I'm catching
around.
my breath.
Oh my God.
Well, anyhow, so this.
When I was married to Stuttering John, he never got this mad. He was always like a delight.
well,
He finished that podcast, by the way, and was like, that should rev up some fucking views and listens. I like Rich. I don't even care at all.
So then, anyhow,
He's not taking it seriously. He's just doing it. That's
So
what you don't realize.
Stop touching the mic, April. Stop moving the microphone, April. So uncomfortable.
Same day, all this was happening on Twitter. Shuli, who I like, who I'm a fan of,
Was also somehow connected to Howard Stern show.
yeah, and
Somehow.
So,
I think it was a caller or something, right? I can't
like-
remember.
it's like pop-up video, just these little fun facts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Court, did you know that Shuli was somehow associated with the Howard Stern show?
I recall hearing about that. Yeah.
funny guy,
A writer?
comic. I've worked with him.
Was
Funny.
he a writer on the show? Is that what it was?
Who Shuli? He
He was
did a
on the
bunch-
show?
A bunch of shit.
Yeah.
But he moved, and
Moved on.
big fan of Shuli's. We've worked together. Every time we see him, we talk.
Oh, that's going to piss John off.
But was he a main character? That's what he keeps calling himself. I was a main character.
He was the phone screener.
Yeah, we were literally talking yesterday, me and him, and I told him, I said, "You didn't trash the guy, but he's going to be livid with you." I said, "You're in now, just so you know." He goes, "I don't want to." I go, "Doesn't matter what you want, Rich. You're in. You're in."
You know, one of the things that really is frustrating about Stuttering John is when he talks about how he's a main character on the Stern show. And one of the things he always cites is that the sales collateral for the Channel 9 show featured him, Robin, and Howard.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
This wasn't something that was made public. It was just sales collateral. And he's like,
Right.
but the photo on the front was us three. So John thinks he was a main character. Now, when John was hired, it was Howard, Robin, Fred, Jackie, Gary, and then John became the sixth person.
Right.
So the Howard Stern show now has like 80 employees. So yeah. It's going to be a little different when there's six.
Yeah.
But the beauty of Howard Stern, this is the thing that John doesn't understand. John makes everyone interesting. Even guys like JD Harmeyer. No offense to JD. But he makes everyone interesting. Ronnie the limo driver, who's not interesting in any single way, becomes a main character on the show because that's the brilliance of Howard Stern.
And I will say, spend some time in a strip club with Ronnie and tell me he's not interesting. Okay, I will debate you on that.
Fair enough. All right.
Yeah.
I don't hang out with Ronnie. But
Oh,
I might
yeah.
have missed Scott, the engineer.
Oh, Scott
When I
for
listed
sure.
the people,
Scott, I'll
he
give
was
you
there.
8 days a week.
He was
Absolutely.
I just mean he was there before
Yes.
John, I think, right?
Yes.
Just the ego, the level it takes to say that I would just to call it a main character. Like it's like if he was on a movie poster, he'd be like, I'd be up there on the top, before it says the name of the movie.
Well, also the main characters don't say that they're main characters,
No.
so that should tell you something.
Main character.
Howard Stern from the Howard Stern show. You never hear him introduce himself that
No.
way. It's like, no, we get it. Brandon, you've been on morning shows and stuff. Like, one of the things you do is you try to incorporate everyone. The producers get incorporated, like everyone who's a part of the show gets mic time and you try to make them interesting and you try to bring them in so the audience knows who all the players
Sure.
are.
Absolutely.
This isn't anything new. But John thinks that for some reason he was such a scary talent.
I just don't. I hate the term main character. I don't know. It feels
Yeah.
weird coming out of his mouth. Main character.
Yeah.
And
Somebody sent me.
like
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
to come on my podcast and discuss what this is the same. I go, no, I'm not getting involved in this. All I do
But
is,
now you are.
but all I do is make a joke. And I text or on Twitter. I went to Stuttering John. Hey, I was joking. Loosen up. All right, it was a joke, and obviously Chad got it. He didn't care. So then Stuttering John writes back, "LOL, I just saw this right after his whole diatribe, whatever the word is."
Right.
So anyhow, this
You
podcast
had it right there, Rich.
He
Get
did.
confident, stupid. Yeah, he actually figured it out.
Oh, now they're going
with
to come for me.
the name of
I take back everything I said.
who are these podcasts? Reviewed it all, and I think they've trashed us. I think they called us.
If they haven't, they should.
I
They
think-
should trash this podcast. too.
Stop touching the microphone, buddy. Stop it. I love this thing like trashed us. We reviewed your show and we found some flaws.
Yeah.
A couple
Like
things you could
the-
have done better. That's all.
Yeah, I like how Carl sets it up. Like sometimes we really love the podcast we're reviewing.
Yeah, right. Could you imagine? Oh, that's happened a couple of times. The most famous one was Michael Rappaport because Andy and his brother came over, and the show format at WATP. It's like, let's rag on this podcast. They come over, they're like, yeah, what about this fucking guy? I'm like, I love him. He's great.
You're not charismatic.
I was just like, no, I think everything about this show is hilarious, and I really enjoyed it.
I love Mike.
I really sandbagged those guys with that one.
I think they called us a
Like-
bickering couple or something.
I hate when people do that.
I know, but anyhow, they were reviewing the whole.
me of listening to my parents. Were your parents ever this funny?
I didn't say that, by the way, Bonnie, just so you know. I said you were a bickering couple. I didn't say you reminded me of my parents.
Sorry.
The head of that podcast.
People think this is easy to do. This
When
ain't easy.
I think when I was in Rochester, a guy
Living
that-
with this man.
when I was in Rochester, I think that Vinny, who has a podcast up there, I think he said, "You don't like those guys." I go, "I don't even know them, but maybe I don't."
Who?
The one that reviewed us.
Oh,
Pay attention! Who are these podcasts we're talking about?
I mean, in Bonnie's defense, it's a tough follow.
No, I understand. It's a lot going on.
I
Yeah.
don't know if I do or don't. I don't even know if I.
well, you liked him yesterday or the day before,
Well, the
whenever
guy-
we listened. Boss is better than all of them, and you're like, this guy knows his shit.
Well, I mean, when it comes to comedy, he's saying, the guy who's the main guy on Who Are These Podcasts? He was good. The guy, I'm not going to lie, the guy was carrying his podcast. He had some other comic who was a guest on, probably a middle.
By the way, Voss is very good here. He's doing a very good job. He's good. He's making a lot of good points right now. I don't know if you guys have picked up on that.
All right.
I mean, corn dip. Voss is doing a good job right now. Am I wrong?
He's
Good stuff.
I mean, he's talking pretty good about you.
Making some good points.
Yeah, Corn Dip's pissed. He hasn't mentioned him yet. He's not going to give him
Yeah.
his prop.
You got to go pretty deep into WATP to get the corn dip.
And he was showing clips from Stuttering John. He was going over the whole thing, it was a fucking joke. So he was good. I'm not gonna lie. Even if they trash our podcast, which I'm sure they have, but they can never trash your stand-up or my stand-up because we're fucking amazing. But the guy was good. Anyhow, he reviewed the whole thing, and I'm like, a lot of people do not like this Stuttering John guy. Like,
Brilliant observation right there. That is correct, sir. You just nailed it.
Again, it highlights the difference between a comic and a non-comic.
Yeah.
He goes, yeah, they probably trashed us, and whether he hears it or not, I'm sure he'll take it. It won't ruin his day. He won't make it his life's mission to go after you, to dig up pictures on your family or friends. Like, I mean, forget comic. It's just a normal human being reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the latest, which is criminal records, finding criminal records for everybody that you hate and everybody that is involved in the Dabbleverse, and then threatening to read it line by line. That's bizarre.
Yeah. It's a weird thing to do because it's not funny or entertaining.
No.
The other thing that John's been doing So he always calls out people who didn't graduate high school or didn't graduate college. But then I do have a bachelor's degree, but I didn't go to a good enough college in John's mind. So he calls me out.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's always something. It's almost like, you know?
Yeah.
Wow.
You can't win with this guy.
You can't.
Like, what did he do to piss the whole fucking world off? I don't know, because I'm not involved in that whole big drama bullshit. You know, we're fucking headliners, which is obvious. So I don't.
I want to point this out, too, because I don't like drama being used in reference to the Dabbleverse. Like, this is a roast.
Agreed.
What we're doing right here is a roast. Like, none of us are butthurt about anything that's going on, except for John. John's the only one who thinks this is drama.
Yeah.
The rest of us are having fun.
It's a great point. It's like the guy you've been roasting all night has a chance to come up and give everybody back, and he just starts reading court transcripts. And you're like, this was supposed to be a fun roast. What happened?
John comes up at the end, he's like, oh, my feet smell? Well, you didn't pay a parking ticket.
Yeah, he's got an easel. He's like, let's take a look at his daughter. And he like moves the thing up. Yeah, what happened?
It's insane. Oh my gosh. I don't know if we're going to get to this because this is going longer than I thought it was going to go. But Ray DeVito was on his show and Ray looked like a hostage.
First of all, he looked like someone who's been held hostage for 33 years.
Yes.
He's aged like a president, I said. He looks terrible.
He looks like a hostage on John's show. They're having zero fun. And John is mad at Ray for doing Hackamania because he goes, how could you do a show with Patrick Melton who's talking about people's families? John has posted photos of my extended family, my sister, my parents made fun of my dad having cancer. And John has the balls to go back, this guy's making fun of people's families and you're doing a show with them?
Yeah. And I quote,
Kevin, I know where your kids go to school.
yeah. That's a quote.
It's insane.
It's bizarre.
That, you know, so again, Chad, the other day texted me. I said, do you want to go on Stuttering John's podcast? He's still mad that you canceled him in 2001. So I went, and no. I don't care if I'm not going on this podcast to talk about a show I canceled 23 years ago. So it's a lot of drama. But look, we have our own lives. You guys live your lives. Don't involve us. I said a joke. It's only a joke.
It's not drama, boss. We're with you, buddy.
It does
we're all having fun.
Come on, it sucks that he has to address something that happened 23 years ago over this asshole.
He doesn't have to. Like, no one was mad at Voss. John thought he had this big gotcha. No one was going, wait, Rich did what?
Well, we'll hear if he changed his tune Sunday night when Rich Voss joins us on Uncle Rico. No, I don't know.
I was going to say, I'm booked for Sunday night Uncle Rico. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm going to reach out. I'm going to,
he said he's not going to do it.
I'm going to talk to him. I'm going to talk to him.
All right. Fair enough. See what you can do.
Yeah.
So this came out today, which is great. Posted in Dabblers Anonymous. Thank you for that. And then someone in Dabblers Anonymous in the thread reminded us of Kurt Metzger a year ago. This is fantastic.
So, I hate to use the word dabble because that got Chrissy Mayer in trouble with Stuttering John. Chrissy got in trouble. You know, I know Chrissy for years. She got in trouble for saying dabble. She was interviewing. I think it was the funniest thing ever. Like, why is that bad? She was. It's not bad. She was interviewing Stuttering John Melendez, and she's all, so you still dabble in comedy? And he got all fucking bent out of shape over it. He super bent out of shape for it.
What did he think that meant?
It's got lore. I think he thought that she didn't respect him as a comedian.
Oh, none of us do. Why would we ever possibly respect him?
Because he knows that it got to him. So and then of course you guys are just.
Oh, she just said it, and I bet she wasn't even trying to be.
She wasn't trying to say it. No.
She's not mean.
No, she's not. She's not mean. It's funny.
Kurt Metzger. That's the greatest line ever. I think that he felt he wasn't respected as a comedian. Yeah, no one respects John as a comedian.
Yeah, I think a lot of comics will say Kurt doesn't always speak for all of us, but in that case, yes, he did.
In that case, we're with you.
Yeah.
All right.
Are there any examples on the World Wide Web of Stuttering John doing any comedy at all? Any stand-up?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but one was filmed from the side, which according to John ruined the show. It made his jokes bomb, and it was not good.
John claims that one of the videos that's out there that we've all watched from some like barbecue restaurant or something, John claims that it was doctored to take out either punchlines or tags.
Yeah.
Like there was a bunch of hilarity, but we missed it the way this person. Meanwhile, it's just a cell phone footage someone's like holding at the table that never changes. It's not like there's cuts in it or anything.
But has he ever released anything where like, hey,
No.
here's some of my material. Here's a solid 5.
No.
And
No.
you know what? You know what his excuse is? Because people say like, well, why wouldn't you put out some of your stand-up? Jay Leno told me.
Ugh.
I know. Jay Leno never puts out his stand-up, and therefore I don't either.
Yeah.
Well,
Jay
working
Leno
for
doesn't
Jay.
have. That's like when people
Yeah.
go, you shouldn't be on social media. Louis not on Twitter. It's like,
Right.
yeah, no shit.
But if
yeah,
I
he's-
wanted to, I could go
Yeah.
and I could find a Jay Leno piece of his stand-up on the World Wide Web.
Sure.
I mean, it still exists out there. I'm just wondering why this person who gets so butthurt if you don't give him the respect that he is owed as a comedian when you want to look at some of his material, because
it's a great
I
point.
wanted to watch it.
It's a great point, Brandon, because he sits there going, how can people say I'm not a stand-up comedian? It's like there's zero evidence of it. That's why.
Right. I
Well,
would give you a shot.
But you know how you have evidence of this? You know how you get that to exist? By doing the work. By working as a comic. And so it all comes back to him being a lazy sack of shit. That's why he's not known as a comic, because he never did the work to be a comic. He got booked because he was on the Tonight Show. He got booked because he was on Stern and he was friends with Florentine and all these other comics that were always looking for a break, always looking for the next thing to get them to the next stage. Those guys were working. Those guys were hustling. He was playing 15 minutes of his interviews and then doing 7-8 minutes of Gary Teeth jokes,
Yeah.
and then taking 80% of the money.
Well, don't forget about his amazing crowd work, though, too, Shuli.
Oh.
You two, are you guys fucking?
Yeah. Oh, I asked you that already. Sorry.
I got to get caught up on Super Chats. You guys are being very generous, and I appreciate that. Before I do that, real quick, Brandon, you are from the Drew Lane Show. Where can people find that?
The Drew Lane Show. I mean, if you type in Drew and Mike, it'll probably redirect you there too. But it's the Drew Lane Show, formerly the Drew and Mike Show. Check out the YouTube page if you get a chance. I know that Drew would love you to up his viewership on that, because we kicked it off a little late.
Yeah, subscribe to them on YouTube. They always post the videos when I'm on there, so I know I'm subscribed. And they always post fun videos. They do a show 4 days a week. So if you are still an audio podcast listener, like a lot of us are, it's a great morning show for you that you just subscribe to wherever you listen to podcasts, and check that out. And then corndiff.com. What can we find there, Corndiff?
It's just links to the show on YouTube. Swear to God, I talk more on that show, but it's just me.
Well, we're trying to
and
sell it, Corndiff.
Granny hanging out. Oh,
So you talk less.
Yeah, okay, a little bit less. I can turn it down a little bit. No, yeah, that's all it is. Just the show that we do on YouTube. You can find me at Corndiff on YouTube.
All right, and Shuli Agar, you guys you're doing live shows, right?
Yeah, we got some live shows coming up. We got Bob's coming to Rochester.
Yes.
He's doing the Rickles Room at the end of July. Zenhauser. You can go to bsshowlive.com for all our live stuff. And then TSN, member up either on YouTube or Patreon. We're doing member shows this weekend. We're doing Carl's filling in for Mike Moore Sunday night on Rico, and possibly more guests.
Upgrade.
Yeah, that's right. Finally, thank God. Hopefully, it's a permanent switch, if you know what I mean. But yeah, and thanks for having me as always, Carl.
Of course, that coveted Morse chair everyone's always talking about.
That's right.
TJ, $5. WATS gets 130 views. I'm a fan. That's how I know. Shuli magically gets all shows 1.2K. He must be really funny and talented, not a hack who pays for views. Now, first off,
Again, both can be both can be true. Let's just say that.
WATS gets more than 130 views, sir. But do you want to acknowledge, or do you want to respond to that allegation?
Yeah, no, we buy everything. We haven't made money at this thing from day one. So congrats. Thanks, DJ.
So is it legit that John believes that you are currently upping your numbers by paying for them? Is that what he's going on?
If we do well, everything's fake. If
Okay.
he makes more than us, everything's real.
Yeah.
That's what I've noticed, the difference.
Because it's nothing near like Tommy from MSCS Media, like his numbers
Yeah.
when he pays for them. I mean, that's $500,000. I mean,
Right. Yeah. No, we apparently we've been doing this from day one, so that's fine. It's working.
God damn it. I wanted to get to the super chats. I'm going to get right back there, but that just reminded me of this clip I wanted to play.
I think a lot of those super chats are fake.
Mm.
And that's a fact.
That's my favorite thing. I think a lot of super chats are fake, and that's a fact.
Fact.
Is it a fact that you think it? What do you mean that's a fact? That's how facts work, dummy.
That was the day where he put out a tweet saying, "I have it on good authority that it's all fake," and then he did the same exact shit.
TJ, really busy chat for 1.2 thousand views. Legit talent here. Thank you very much, TJ. Thank you for your support.
No one's denied Carl's a legit talent except for Bonnie McFarlane. No one else.
Yeah, that cunt. Everyone else,
Oh, wow.
Everyone else is buying it. Gartner fan $2 says Quad will be okay. SJ friendship lasts about 3 weeks. Yes, correct.
He better not take another shower.
Confabulated John. John is a Barry Hawusa. Correct. Jay Wolfenstein $5. I won't say John is in poor health, but if he challenges Quadfather to a boxing match, my money is on Quad. No shit. John would fall over from exhaustion and then Quad would just roll over him. Earl Camembert, remember for 5 months, says, start talking corn. You look like that broad from Pittsburgh who talks to Ray just smiling.
Thank you, Earl.
I don't know if that was a compliment.
I'll take it.
All right, fair enough. Grandma Zaccardi, $5 says, I build the tunnel to hell so when John died, we can all shit on he had. Do you understand that? You're laughing.
Yeah, she said she built a tunnel to hell, so when John dies, we're all going to shit on his head through the tunnel. It's brilliant. What are you talking about? Do I understand? Do I understand comedy? Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Ricky F $2. SJ at the bar must be the most abhorrent bore ever.
Oh.
You think?
I was thinking it's got to be people's worst, like your worst nightmare at a bar. That's who he is. That's who he is.
Producer Chris says this all the time on WATP. We find these random podcasters and various personalities online, and Chris always breaks it down to, that's a person I don't want to be sitting next to at the bar.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to be in the conversation. You just have to be next to it, and you're like, I got to get out of here. This sucks. This person sucks.
100%.
That's John all day. Because he's talking about the fucking Yankees and how many times they won the World Series and acting like he accomplished that. You're like, you're not Derek Jeter. I don't know why you're bragging about this, sir. You weren't the captain in 96.
Hey, loser buys winner a beer. Real color of Jupiter. Go.
Jay Wolfenstein, $5 says, don't worry, Carl. My super chats of Shuli are fake, but these are real.
Exactly.
I appreciate that. Keep giving Shuli the fake super chats. It drives John crazy. Dang Lizard, €5. The Dabbleverse would start to fall the day SJ admits he's no longer as relevant. I'm glad that this is impossible. Don't waste the money, Brandon.
He's 100% right. If he wants to win, if he wants to beat everybody, open the fucking floodgates. Sit there, turn every camp, drop the green screen, show them everything, be honest. My God, you'd be the number one show on YouTube, possibly.
He makes this extremely difficult for anybody who wants to figure out what Stuttering John is up to these days. Because when Carl approached me and said, would you like to be on Dabblepoint? I was, I'll definitely listen to some of his material. And then when I went through, all of his public videos are deleted from the past couple weeks. I mean, why are you putting out turds and then deleting them? At least stand by your turd, keep it up, and let me watch it so I can prep for the show.
Yeah, even the video that we've been watching has been unlisted. I just happen to have the link, so I'm able to still get to it. But yeah, he's been doing that a lot lately. I got to give something to the Patreon supporters, Brandon.
I understand. And do a bonus show for them.
No, you're embarrassed because you got drunk again. And you did a ridiculous show. Let's be honest here.
Right.
The thing about John, to Dang Lizard's point, though, and this is something that I've been wrapping my head around. I didn't know this existed. This personality disorder that John has, where he cannot, even though there's thousands of people telling him that he's a buffoon and the laughing stock of the internet, he still somehow convinces himself that Shuli's a lol cow and Carl's a lol cow and Corn Diff. Well, he doesn't call you out, Corn Diff, but
he will now.
Your day's coming.
Finally.
It's so crazy to me that John can somehow justify all this in his head. And every morning he wakes up, he's just like, nope, I'm killing it. I'm not the problem here.
The gift.
It is actually. Pat Shan, 10 pounds. PDP is great end of my week. Not sure why the corn freaks me out more than the puppet, potato, and orange. Enjoy the stupid universe. Why? I don't know. Dude, you don't have to try to figure out why you enjoy this. We're all glued to Stuttering John all the time. We don't know why. He's a buffoon. It's ridiculous. That's what we're doing.
He's the Duke of the Dabbleverse.
I will say, when I heard I was on with Corn today, I locked my office door so none of my family comes in, sees this scene on the monitor.
You know this is live on the internet right now, right, Chili?
I know, but they don't. They hate me. They don't follow anything I do.
Smart, yeah.
Yeah.
John's riding in back. $2. That's a good name. AO 1012, $5 says, how long before SJ says he would have done a better Biden interview than Howard did? Yes. I want to get into that. We're going to play so many clips on WTP this weekend of Howard with Joe Biden from today. That is going to kill John, especially when Howard talked to Joe about being a stutterer. Remember how much it killed John that there was that stuttering comic on America's Got Talent?
Yeah.
And Howard praised him, and John's like, what was Howard? I was a stuttering retard. So funny.
Yeah, remember he claimed he was going to be able to interview Biden because he's a fellow stutter. He goes,
right.
I'm
he
just
tried to. Yeah, he's reached out
he goes,
to him.
I reached out to his people. It's like, get the fuck out of here.
I sent this note to Shuli today. Actually, a couple of my friends who were listening to Howard today. So I popped in. I was listening to a little bit of the interview. Howard asked Joe Biden if he goes on Facebook to rub it in the face of girls who rejected him in high school that he is now the president. Is Howard a retard? Joe Biden is 98 years old. There's no 98-year-old woman who's sitting on Facebook going, God damn it, that guy wanted to go out with me. And I said, no, fuck.
Yeah. The president's picturing a book with a face on it after he asked him that question. He doesn't even understand what words are. Like, it's crazy.
I couldn't believe he asked him that. Like,
Yeah.
Howard's 70 and he's still fantasizing about rubbing it in girls' faces that he's now famous and rich.
I just like I like the promo tweet that went out. It was like, the president of the United States with Howard Stern right now. And I'm just like, wow, how far he's come, Mr. Fuck the FCC to now interviewing the president. Comments turned off on the post. I was like, oh,
He's
all right.
so soft.
They always are.
Interesting.
That is impressive, though. I got to say, just a Joe Biden interview in general is unheard of. Like, this guy does not like to talk.
Yeah, he doesn't do a lot of media interviews at all. So
No, especially like long form. It's crazy. And
yeah, but everything is checked out ahead of time. Like, they're not gonna. It's not.
Well,
he's there because it's gonna be okay.
Howard showed who he was with Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
He's talking about how much she's in love with her husband, Bill. You're like, wait, what? What are you talking about? Like, everyone knows this is a sham. What do you mean? Like, this is a ridiculous interview. So that's what makes him safe for guys like Joe Biden to come on. Because I only listened to a little bit of it. I'll get into all of it tomorrow. But there are a few times where, Joe does his famous trail off thing where he's just like,
don't get me into it. Don't get me into it. Don't get me started.
And I was like, yeah, all right, well, moving on. Instead of just like, hey, you kind of trailed off there. What were you going to say? Did you miss your place? Or
you're right, though, Stuttering John, because, it would be the world to him if he got Joe Biden on his program. Yeah. So he's just good. Because that's what I ended up having to listen to the first day was all of his old political bullshit. And that sucks. There's nothing fun about listening to John or the Army Major talk about politics. Sorry.
It's the opposite of fun. It's brutal.
Even though sometimes it can be fun to watch the Army Major start to talk and then he starts talking a little bit faster and then gets a little fucking pissed off. He just goes crazy.
Well, the Army Major wants to curb stomp people. Then I'm like, huh? what are we talking about? Other than that, it's very boring.
I just love
I like
the lawyer is here with $2.
Oh. Wow.
Congrats to Vince the Lawyer. First to 25,000 subs in the Dabbleverse. Thanks for watching, Vince.
He's been doing it for 18 years. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Randomatic $2. Corn Diff has an enchanting smile.
I agree.
He really is. He's a charmer, isn't he?
He is. He is.
You got to have something, right?
I'd bring him home on the first date. I'm just saying.
Ooh.
Mongo, $10. Great panel. SJ is the gift that keeps on giving. Carl, what's the context of SJ saying that's a manga? I think it's what's a manga.
What's a manga? Yeah.
Now that's obviously the end of all the Baloney Factory videos that he does. Baloney Factory killing it, by the way. He just posted a Chad Zumock video today where Chad's got a hot take on Diddy.
Oh, that's great.
The coldest take ever. But the animations that Baloney Factory is making, my buddy Dave, are fantastic. I love it.
Really talented.
Very talented. Very funny. Do you know the origin of that, Shuli?
No, I don't. The only manga I'm thinking of, isn't that like an anime or something, or some sort of?
That's what I always thought. I thought he was asking if it's manga. What's a manga or something like that. I'm with you.
Yeah.
That's what I thought he was saying.
I have to ask Dave that. I should know the answer to it. I feel bad now. Leah Gutterman, $2. Carl, best whackpacker hired, Richard Sale or Shuli?
Fair question.
I don't think those are whackpackers. I mean, Richard and Sale are both great employees. There.
And they painted their dicks like Kiss. So, I mean, they win whatever the question is.
KJ, $10 says, WATP and TSN, I probably spend way too much time with you boys, but much like SJ, my regrets are minute. Yes. Good for you. See, that's the thing that we all have to do in the Dabbleverse, is we spend way too much time ingesting this content, and then we have to forgive ourselves.
Right.
You have to go, I'm not a bad person just because this is what I enjoy. It's fine.
It's like a big meal. You just got to walk it off after a little while, you know?
Yeah. And tomorrow will be a different day. Dang Lizard, 5-year-olds. Hey, Corn Diff, how is the rubber band ball going? Heard a rumor you 3D printed keys to SJ's Cape Coral home. I assume no comment, but please release the pics.
Yeah, I can't talk about what they're, how well they're working or not yet, but still doing the prototypes. But yeah, the rubber band ball's going strong. It's about 9 pounds and 12 plus years old.
Jesus.
Corn Diff does these streams where he's 3D printing shit.
Yeah.
I know this because my buddy Doug is obsessed with it, and he watches you 3D printing shit. But that's on your YouTube channel, Corn Diff?
It is, yeah. Same at Corn Diff.
If you ever have insomnia and you're just up late.
For real.
You can watch that. I love the idea of John will see this and probably try to strike this channel. The pretty keys to my home. You know? He's that stupid. I forget. I think it was Vince the Loser posted, super chatted him like, hey, John, we're going to your house or something. And he's like, oh, you can't go to my house. Like, no one's going to your house, John. It's gross.
You think he set it up like Home Alone? He put all these traps in place for whoever comes in.
You try to grab the handle and it's too hot. But you keep your hand on it for way too long anyway because you're an idiot. K-Mac 3344, $5 says, SJ couldn't answer how you guys make so much money off him and make no money. Yes.
Interesting.
Oh, you know what? Actually, that might be the next part of this. Hold on. Let me play this a little bit longer.
So, his gifted memberships are fake.
Okay.
His fucking viewerships are fake.
Okay.
So, yeah. He's a con artist. He's a grifter. That's what high school dropouts do. Him and Levy, that's what they do.
Mr. Liberal.
That must be the end of his thought.
Grifters are gonna grift.
Oh, no, he's still going. Okay. Oh, new beer.
Fucking hell. What a fuck. It's amazing to me. Amazing.
What a strong, manly man. He needs to use his shirt for his twist top bottle.
Well,
he's gonna box two guys in a boxing ring in Vegas.
It reminded me of one of the paywall things we did this week where he was doing the Q&A and nobody asked him this, but he got on this whole thing about how he was a mama's boy and how his siblings teased him for being a mama's boy. And it explains so much about his hatred of every woman that isn't his mother.
Yep.
And B, just like the sensitivity of this guy. And what reminded me is him using his shirt to open a twist off beer.
Yeah.
Fucking man up. Open that shit.
Dude, this guy's mom was cutting his steak when he was 16. I guarantee
Yeah.
it. And then lady came on saying my mom cut my steak.
He
How
doesn't
would
know how
he
to
know?
He doesn't know how to wipe his nose, but he knows how to cut a nose hair out of it with a steak knife. Fucking monster.
John's a real Yarmalouk.
Yeah, exactly. I'm saying it for years.
Zach comment $5 says, I asked John how his early Werich-Korsakoff syndrome is going. Oh, that's the that's the wet brain. We covered that recently on WTV. He drunkenly tried to say the word multiple times, drooling all over Priceless.
I drool on purpose.
Someone posted in Dabblers Anonymous. Yeah, he did say that. So, brilliant comedy, John. Someone posted in Dabblers Anonymous, and I was going through that today and reading it. They go, how is John's drool? And not even drool. It looked like two guys' loads were coming out of his mouth at the same time.
It was Yeah, it was thick. It was viscous.
Yeah, it was thick, and it was just, it was all there. How has that not gone viral on the internet? Like, just like, hey, by the way, this guy, I don't know if you remember Howard Stern or Jay Leno, this guy worked there. Look at what he's doing on the internet right now. And I was thinking about it, like, yeah, you're right. Like, we're all used to it. But if you didn't know what John was up to and you just saw that, you'd go, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was frightening. And I don't know if you saw, but like a day or two later, some super chat came in and the picture was that all that shit coming out of his mouth. And it asked like a political question. So he put it up and then the thing's name was Cum Pig. And that's a super chat. And he reads it and it's spelled COMEPIG because the Army major goes, you think that's how you spell commie? He goes like that. And then and now Brian is over there going, oh, I thought it said cum pig. And then John has to explain all of it. And he goes, no, this is in reference to, they said it looked like I had a load coming out of my mouth. It was the funniest goddamn thing ever.
It's amazing.
Oh.
So you're saying the political show can be entertaining from time to time?
I think if you ask like a political question but donate enough money, he'll put it up, you know?
It's hilarious.
But no, I did hear him legit say that, no, the picture that you guys have where I did that on purpose.
Yeah.
I did. Okay, great bit.
Well, yeah, if you are doing that on purpose, you're really bad at this. And if you aren't, you're really bad at this. Eddie Valentino, $5 says, MLC sniping the show? Oof, he's really hurting for content. FKB TWO for life. I agree with you, sir.
22222 World Order TWO.
Yeah, Kevin Brennan is one of these guys who just does zero show prep and just waiting for super chatters to give him money so he can read the super chats. And everyone's jealous of that format. Have you noticed that, Shuli? Yeah. Every single person who gets involved, whether it's Joe Matarese or Ray DeVito or any of these people, watch what he does and go, I want to do that. So I can just turn on my webcam for 2 hours and make $500. Yeah, that sounds cool. It's like, yeah, no, it doesn't work that way.
It's a fluke.
It doesn't work that way for most people. No. Most people just put on a show and prepare for a show and have content and discussion points. It's the whole thing.
Well, I saw somebody was writing in the chat that I guess TJ Miller's his guest today and his mic wasn't working. So I always love when these guys start their show by trying to fuck with somebody and it ends up blowing up in their face. I love that.
Wait, TJ Miller was recently on Brandon's show.
Yeah, the Drew Lane show. Yeah, we had him on a couple times. He's a friend of the program.
Guest. Yeah,
he's a good dude. I've worked with him.
Guy.
He's a very interesting character.
How was his mic? Did it work over there?
It worked fine when we talked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
but he is prone to doing interviews just right there on his phone, so I could see how it could fail. By the way, John's gimpy Halloween hand. I love it when he gives money to Stuttering John, and he's just like, John's gimpy Halloween hand. Oh, thanks for the $250.
Yeah, but it'll also be like John's gimpy. He struggles with that name for some reason. He has a hard time with it.
He started doing the big thank yous at the end now where he reads off. And the only reason I like it is for all, John's gimpy Halloween hand. And he's reading all these dumb names, which I hope there's
giving
a
you
flood
a drop.
of those. Yeah. Yeah.
Just setting it up on a platter.
My son's vagina. Thank you for your
right.
contribution
Like,
today. He says, hate SJ equating formal education to intelligence. Yeah, it's so obnoxious. He's an idiot. He doesn't understand that at all. Donna Gee, $5. I was late to work this morning, and now I am leaving work early. Hello, I am Donna. I am a Dabbleverse-aholic. Welcome, Donna.
Welcome. we love
welcome you with open arms here.
Yes.
In this circle. DJ70, $5 says, John isn't getting in any auditions because those roles are going to Peter Dinklage. John's a very short man, as we've learned. He's a tiny, tiny boy. Count Cooner, $2. John's agent told him the 08 strike is still going.
No kidding. What is his belief that this SAG after strike is really in full force?
He's so stupid.
But I mean,
I
guess
imagine being his agent though, because this guy might just be fucking with him. He might not even be a manager or an agent. He's like, yeah, I'll take you on as a client. And then every now and again he gets a phone call. He's just like, yeah, this strike, John, I don't know. I don't have to tell you.
What if he accidentally called the PI thinking it was the agent? And the PI's like, nah, strike's still going on, John.
Yep.
And now he's fucking with him. Killian. I like Killian.
Killian Monson, £10 says, I was doing a Howard TV deep dive today and came across Shock Jock John from 97. Howard relentlessly calling John an intern and calling him out for stealing his bits is glorious. Yes, there was a moment when John was trying to be the Howard Stern of the noon hour on K-Rock.
Yeah.
That was back when I was a main character.
I loved when John would, or when Howard would, what does John call it? Undress him?
Undress, yeah.
Today, I will undress Lady K.
So stupid. The Shooting number $2. We are not thin-skinned pansies for blocking chats.
We don't throw $2 out, baby.
Yeah, I
nice
know that.
try.
I know who that is.
Exactly. Go back to your family.
Rumple Trudgko to Columbo Podcast $2. SJ Midler, slowly I turned.
It is
Rumple
his Niagara
Trudgko to Columbo
Falls.
Podcast $5. I'll bet SJ would be super offended if Don Rickles insulted him. Yeah, right.
Exactly.
He'd be like, "What the fuck?
He's trashing me.
I never said anything about this guy."
This fucking guy just called me a hockey puck. What the fuck?
Kip Smith, member for a month. Legendary Rich Voss, shame on you all. What
Thank
do you
you.
mean? Rich Voss has been doing it for decades. He's definitely legendary.
He's one of the few white guys on Def Comedy Jam on HBO.
It's actually funny to go back and watch. Rich
Hilarious.
Voss from the 90s. Very different guy. Dang Lizard £2 says Rich Voss didn't even know SJ dabbled in stand-up. Yep,
That's
he
right.
Didn't even know. The Aussie guy with $3 Australian. Most people
Nice.
40 plus know who I am. So at least 1.4 billion people. Yeah, good point. I love this guy. So this is my buddy who not only lives in Australia, but lives on the west coast of Australia. So he's as far away from humanity as possible on the planet.
That's cool.
It is such a small, like the population size there. He probably knows everyone in
Wow.
his entire city. And he's all in on the Dabbleverse, and he's
That's great.
all in. It's amazing to me. I love the internet for that reason. The douche, formerly mumbling Nick, $2, says, "Oh, so now I'm a turd, Voss's sperm receptacle."
Yeah, and John's response.
John's big fucking tats, $5. Don't be fooled by John's faux patriotism. He was nowhere to be seen when his boss Jay Leno was doing USO tours for free. Well, he probably
Well, and
also
if he was
wasn't
such a great
invited.
comic, but if he was such a great comic, why wouldn't Jay throw him on the bill?
Correct. He wasn't. Jay had no respect for John. That was very obvious. Uncle Jack, $5. Sucho, I was the originator of drooling and leaking. Rich lost. Loser. Velvet Chief, $10 says Artie's success catapulted John to get another gig. Howard was kicking John out of the studio more and more once Artie showed his talent. That's why John attacks Artie so viciously. Interesting. What's your take on that, Shuli?
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. You know,
Because-
I mean, look, why would he attack me when I didn't say a fucking word about him and he used to
Right.
talk shit about me at Sirius? Don't think it was, I didn't say anything. It's because I was there and he wasn't. That's it.
Yeah, he went after JD, he went after
Yeah.
Benji, he went after all these guys. And it's a good point because when Artie came on, he took over the Jackie role, but he was very different than Jackie.
100%.
Jackie did not have a lot of mic time. He was mostly writing bits and jokes for Howard to say, and his reactions were legendary. But then Artie came on and became second mic, probably more so than Robin at certain points, right?
Well, also keep in mind, Jackie's stories would end up leading to the whole crew busting Jackie's balls for the next 40 minutes, whereas Artie's stories were unbelievable. They were classic moments. Not that that's a knock on Jackie, just two different types of storytellers, two different types of shit they get out of each one, you know?
It makes sense, though, that John would get less airtime because Artie was so good at filling the airtime.
Yeah, and it was like a new toy for Howard. It was like a new toy for Howard. He wanted to play with Artie. He wanted more. You know, he loved
bring
it.
the guys in from the back office as much.
Yeah.
Michael C. A plane was hit while I rewatch iCarly. Boom. Let's see. Do I have that? No, that's not the one. No, that's not the one. Damn it! I don't have this. Oh no, it is that one.
A plane has hit. I rewatch iCarly. Mom. Boom.
There was this podcast we reviewed called I Rewatch iCarly, and these two girls are like in their 20s, made so many 9/11 jokes. It was so fucking weird. And even their sign off was just like another plane is hit as I rewatch iCarly. I'm like, what the fuck? Why are they laughing?
That's a hit.
Yeah.
That's a hit.
Got real edgy for some reason. It's just like this kid's show from Nickelodeon.
Love it.
Zach Opp at $2 says, corn diff, fuck, marry, kill, Aussie, stick of butter, April Imholt. Good question.
Oh, gotta marry
stick of butter.
The butter.
Oh, okay.
And Aussie's, well, I got to get rid of April. So we'll see. You're in luck.
Wow. I didn't see it going that way. I'll be honest.
Plot twist.
All right. I mean, April might actually be up for it. I don't know. You might want to rethink that. Red 473 $5 says Voss is just being nice to Carl because he can relate to having fucked up teeth. Yes, that's correct. That's how we bonded. Ex Mallard lover. Time to sick Justin/Dustin on these two. Boom.
Boom.
Oh, the PI
That's
is
the
on
PI.
this.
Yeah,
Yep.
the PI is right now looking up everything that I've ever done in my life.
Uh-oh.
It's not coming along. Yes. Herb Pease, how's the pole barn coming along? It's a long-standing joke that I've been trying to raise funds to build a pole barn, and it just hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, but at least you have the internet. Brandon's the only guy I know. Sure, you'll like this because you bought a house out in Alabama somewhere in the sticks. No, I'm just kidding. You're in the suburbs, but
No, it's a shithole. Go ahead.
Brandon bought a house, and he likes being in a rural area.
Yeah.
He bought a house without knowing that there was no access to the internet.
I didn't realize that they didn't run any kind of internet cables down
He
this
didn't
road.
ask the question because he just assumed every house has the internet, so I'll just move into this house and I'll have the internet. Then he gets there, he's just like, so who's the internet provider here? It's like, oh yeah, no, there isn't one.
No, and in fact, we're in one of those like satellite dead zones too. So even some of those wouldn't offer. So my first few weeks here was troubling, but I made it happen. I figured it out.
Wow. So you built your own satellite, obviously. I mean, where do you go from there?
I luckily a listener happened to be in the business of hooking up rural restaurants with
That's
internet.
crazy.
And so he came to me. So I got really lucky, to be honest with you.
Wow. That's nuts.
But I love the country life. Why not? I like it quiet.
If you're buying a new house, ask the realtor, do they have high-speed internet at this place? It's an important question to ask, apparently.
Yeah, my guy didn't have any teeth, but he said Google Fiber. I said, we'll take it. That's it.
Ex-Mallard lover, $2. Corn diff, more like corn dud.
Whoa.
I just like seeing my name in the chat. So
Okay,
thank you.
I was going to say he didn't see you dancing when he wrote that. Yeah, now you're killing it. Guillermo, handyman to the stars, $5 says, I get to hear his comedy routine quite often. He is always practicing his squeegee bits. So the joke there, of course, is Guillermo is the guy who, cleans his house, or what does he do for him?
Yeah.
Or watches the cats. He watches the cats when John's away.
Watches the cats, cleans his house when John's not looking, you know.
Yeah. Past $2 says, Shuli, can you unblock me on TSN? Thanks, bud.
You got it. I'll have my nerd on it.
All right, there you go. Joe Dicker coming with 20 Canadian dollars says, I used to go to a pub. There was a guy there who would sit at the bar, eat 4 pickled eggs and a pickled sausage, drink 6 pints of bitter, and fart up a storm. I would rather go back and sit next to him than SJ. Wow. I hope that's not true.
Yeah, because he's right. Because while the guy smelled, he didn't talk. He didn't bother anybody.
Did you see this made the rounds. I played it on WATP. The guy from Midas Touch. Oh, you guys played it on Drew too.
Talking about the smelly and
talking about how Trump was farting in the courtroom and the attorneys were turned off by it.
The
See that?
stench was awful.
Well, it's funny. John hates Trump so much, but if somebody told a story about John, like when John farted on that airplane with Florentine, and they told that story, he laughs. He thinks it's the funniest thing ever. Yeah,
for sure. Jon Stewart did a phenomenal job on The Daily Show this week. I don't know if you guys have caught it, of calling out the media. Like, the media has admitted they pay way too much attention to Donald Trump. They need to calm down. Like, not everything he does is that exciting.
The coverage.
Meanwhile, they're filming him driving to the courtroom as if it's OJ trying to escape California or something. It's like,
they got these
he's commuting.
They have these exclusive interviews with the courtroom sketch artist, and she's a total dud. They're like, they're trying. So what did you do with his eyes here? And she's just like, I don't know. I couldn't see him. I was 50 feet away. So total dud of an interview, but the coverage has been obsessive, right?
So bizarre. D Vogel $10 says, Carl, it's been a while. Now play my song. Oh shit, wrong show. Anyway, Rich Ross entering the Dabbleverse is the most exciting thing to happen in the Dabbleverse since Zumock nearly got killed in Kumia country. I think I agree with you on that. My phone was blowing up. I'm sure yours was too, Shuli, during the Jim and Sam show yesterday morning. That was very exciting. And the most exciting part, I think I already mentioned this. Not the fact that Voss brought it up, but that Sam went so deep into it.
Yeah.
And of course, Jim knows about it because I've been on his show. He's been on my show. He gets it. But Sam really pays attention.
Yes. And I brought this up on, I think it was either BS or Rico. We were talking a little bit about it. But I said, Rich would be such a great addition because here's a guy who's been in line in front of the firing squad of the greatest ball busters of all time.
Yep.
You think John's going to hurt his feelings? But what do you think Rich will do to him? I mean, my God, this guy destroys people.
Yeah, I'd love to see those two going at it. In fact, I'd be happy to officiate that or host that if those two want to.
In wrestling, that's called a squash match. The guy's getting over. There ain't no stopping.
Jobber. He's a jobber.
Jobber, yep.
Simon 343 $5. Thanks for not going to Greenland. Yeah, no problem. Thank you for not going to Greenland, Simon. I appreciate it. Earl Kamenbert, my wife hates you all. She liked you though, Carl. Oh, well, thank you. See, even the ugly guy from WATP has some fans out there from the females. Brian Vanucci, $5 says, Norbit, get over to the house. Make sure there aren't plastic keys broken off in the front door. Is that John's biker friend?
Yeah,
Norbit.
Hey, is there butter on the handles of the door?
Bounce the Cat, $2. Yep, still here. Oh, hey, Brandon.
Oh, hi.
Love Bounce.
Mason in Portland, remember for 4 months, says, Brennan is a fairy. See you at Hackamania, Carl. Yes, I will see you at Hackamania, hackamania.com. WATP for 20% off your tickets. We're going to be there May 31st through June 2nd. That's going to be a fantastic weekend. You know how I know that? Mason in Portland will be there. That's how I know that.
It's all you need.
I'm looking forward to it. Plus the fight, the boxing match between Stuttering John, Tukey, and Melton.
Yeah, the potential brawl.
That's going to be.
Can I just say that we offered 10 grand, winner take all. We had the money ready to go, winner take all. Him versus Frog.
Yep.
The guy who said to me today before I left, "You're not wearing that shirt to the show, are you?" That guy, 10 grand if you beat him, and he pussied out like he does everything else. So now 15 grand to fight two guys back to back. What a horrible business deal. He really is an idiot.
But I'm looking forward to it. John mentioned on his show, the only reason why these guys are challenging him to this boxing match is because we've sold no tickets for Hackamania. Meanwhile, we've upgraded to a larger venue.
Yeah.
I love these guys' lies. Like they want everything to be failing, and they're like, everything's failing. No one's good at anything except for me. No one's going to see Carl at Hackamania. It's just like, okay, well, I mean, you lose all credibility when we do a live show and a bunch of people are there.
Yeah,
Kinda,
well, it's the
kind of
same
makes
thing.
it all fucking stupid.
It's the same thing with the last few live shows we did. He goes, they sold
Yeah.
20 tickets in New Jersey. They sold 20 tickets in Long Island. I said,
Yeah.
put up the dollar amount. I will show you the printout of everything that was sold that weekend. You will see how many tickets from the club, not my printout, from the
Right.
club, you know? But again, they say it because they want it to be true, but they know it's not, you know?
Also, the people who do the most talking about other people's live shows never do live shows.
Never.
It's very easy from your basement to call people out for trying to do live shows, get people out to live podcasting or comedy.
Yeah.
If they were doing live shows, they probably wouldn't be doing that because they'd know that, like, oh shit, this could happen to me. And then people don't come out and then they call me out.
Right.
But Kooky Joe, I am obsessing, but no talking about the horse.
Oh, John mentioned that he had a pony when he was a kid, and his sister had a quarter horse. So everybody's like, "Oh, this guy grew up a spoiled fucking Long Island brat." Obviously,
I had it in my notes and then I deleted it. So John was talking. You were talking about riding a horse. Something it's not easy to mount a horse. I've never mounted a horse. I don't know. And John's like, "Oh, he's never mounted a horse before. I've owned a horse." I'm like, "Owned a horse? What?" It's a weird flex.
yeah, and that Q&A thing he talked about it.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
Ham Hands $2 says, "Shuli, you're still wearing that shirt." Frog face.
I'm changing. I'll change before I leave.
Oh, don't wear that shirt. I can't do a frog impression. Shit show $2. That Joe equals Debt Midler. Wow.
That's good.
Wow.
That's solid.
That's a winner right there. Debt Midler. The Bedazzler $2 says he was eating old veggies. He said fresh cucumber.
Fresh cucumber. Well, that's that drop we have.
Oh, okay.
Fresh cucumber.
Mr. Spittle, member of 3 months, says, when Quadfather inevitably leaves, SJ will guess he rolled on me.
I love that.
I like it. D-Vogel $10 says, I like this current season of Dabbleverse so far. Rich Voss could be like Cousin Oliver or Sam Drummond. I hope it doesn't jump the shark. Maybe try to get John Hine in here to discuss. We should get John Hine in here to discuss.
John's a stats guy. He would destroy. He would. I mean,
hit
it
him
would
with
be
the
bad.
Hine.
It would
Dang
be bad.
Wizard 5 says, tune in the Cordative show for 3D printing a cum pig. There is an SJ bust on printables, just FYI.
Cum pig coming soon.
Cordative, yeah, all right. You're promising this now?
I'll work on it. Yes.
All right. Corndiff.com, everybody. Find the links. Waiver $2. Hey, Corndiff, sir. Shul, Carl, and Guy.
Hey, Waver. I know him.
Hi, Waver.
Hey, Waver.
Yo.
Oh, I love this guy. Hulkamania has been around for like the last couple of weeks, just gifting memberships all over the fucking place. Thank you very much. 10 more gifted memberships to who are these podcasts. Turn on accept gifted memberships if you're watching the show, because you're getting free memberships. And that means free bonus material. And we put out videos for members before everyone else gets to see them. And yes, Corndiff, I need you. I'm going to just bring you on my show every time someone gifts something just so you can dance. And then I'll take you off again.
Sweet. I'm good.
Sweet.
It's a lot
Joe
less
Dicker.
embarrassing than this. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Joe Dicker, $5 Canadian says, true story. Shout out to Rose and Crown in Toronto if it's still there. Oh, talking about the guy who was farting and eating all this stuff. That's funny. Yeah, we have a Rose and Crown in Rochester as well. It's a dive bar. Giant pile of shit. JFK Head Chunk. Remember for 1 month. Silent Maze. Every bit as good as Silent Mike.
That's great.
Billy Detroit, $2 says, we need Brandon more than once a year. Comment?
Okay. Yeah. I'd love
I
to
just
do
got
that.
internet. Relax. Jesus.
So every Christmas time when Brandon has a week off from Drew's show, I tell him, hey, you're not having a vacation. You're going to come on Who Are These Podcasts?
Yeah.
And he always does come on. And I appreciate that. But we'd love to have him on more than once a year. For
Absolutely.
Sure. That's Doo-Doo Baby, $2. Yeah, okay, Carl. All the live audience is fake. It's all avatars coming in. Yeah, Tupac was there. It was
Wow.
amazing. You couldn't believe it was in the audience. Zach Hoffman, DabbleCon 2 idea. Longest, yeah, that's a good idea. This week especially, he's just been like scrolling Reddit.
Speaking of, what are we going to announce a date soon? Are we going to
should.
figure something out here?
Yes,
'Cause
let's talk about that because we need to start promoting.
Yeah.
Gonna save a date for people for that weekend.
Let's go.
Because it is in August. It is back at Comedy with Carlson, and the people who came to the first DabbleCon, everyone will tell you it was a blast. It was such a fun weekend, and it was 0 fucking degrees.
0.
It couldn't have been worse. We've never had that weather here. Before that, since that, never. It was just that weekend was the worst weekend ever. Now we're going to do it in August. It's going to be much, much better. It's going to be a place you actually want to be.
Yeah, I think it's going to get snatched up pretty quick too this
For
time around.
sure. Jay Wolfenstein, Shuley, do you need me to be 1,200 or 1,250 real viewers next Rico? Good question.
I don't know. We got a meeting afterwards about fake viewers. We'll let you know, Jay. Thank you, as always, for your service.
Kitty gifting a membership, and then what did Kitty do after that? Gifted another membership. Thank you, Kitty.
Very nice.
Best.
Thank you
Best.
very, very much. Gentlemen, this has flown by. I had a lot to talk about. We didn't get to a ton of it, obviously. People are participating, and I appreciate that. We'll probably get to some of this stuff on WATP tomorrow. Before we go, because I asked Brandon and Corn Diff, I know Shuley's always paying attention, what was going on this week. What did we not touch upon that you wanted to talk about, Brandon? Was there anything important that you wanted to get to?
I'd like to spend at least 15 minutes on John's stance on Israel and Palestine.
Yeah, all right. Perfect. The floor is yours. Take it away.
Okay, according to everything that I listened to, Joe Biden is doing great for both sides. He's doing great for Israel. He's doing great for Palestine.
Okay.
And while we're at it, he's doing good for Ukraine too. That's some of the notes that I picked up on. And I swear to God, from listening to his political show.
Unbelievable.
Both sides, Israel and Palestine, he's doing
So
a
what are
bang-up
these
job.
protesters protesting then? I don't understand.
I don't
sounds
know.
like Biden's killing it. What's the problem?
I don't know, but if you really want to, he still has that episode up for some reason. Of all the ones he deletes, he's got that one where he breaks down Israel and Palestine.
I like the idea of a show where Brandon just pops on for a few minutes with notes from John's episode. Doesn't show any clips and just reads those notes. That would crush. Oh,
Well, there's an idea. That's pretty much it. I mean, I enjoy more in clip form. I'll say that than actually having to take the time and listen to it. I think that you guys do a great service to this whole community because I had to listen to it at 1.5 times speed. I know I've asked you, Carl. You don't do that. You listen to it regular speed, and that's just time consuming. So thank you guys for your time.
Thank you, Brandon. Just peek behind the curtain. Brandon used to be a producer for a political talk show on the radio. So you understand how political talk shows work.
Oh, sure.
And to watch John pretend he's a political pundit must drive you nuts.
No. I was on stations that had, the Rush Limbaughs and the Hannitys and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you can't get I don't know, the thoughts that come out of John's mouth and then the assurances that the Army major and whoever some of his other guests are, it's something to behold, but I don't think you can take any of those political views at their worth. It's terrible viewing.
in any of the political shows you did the panel ever respond to a question with, "Get the fuck out of here"? Did they ever do that?
And whenever Trump is mentioned, I'm telling you, this guy has. Look, I know people have their own political things. Some people might like you, might hate you, whatever.
Right.
But this guy hates Trump more than anybody I know. Like
it's weird.
It guides his life almost. It's bizarre.
It's like Ryan Long made that video years ago, and it's one of the greatest YouTube videos ever, where he compares people who hate Trump and people who love Trump, and they're the same person.
Yep.
It's like if you're obsessing over Trump all day long, you have a problem. Like, really, who cares?
You remember when Richard and Sal went to Harlem and they asked people about McCain, but they put all of Obama's like bullet points on, all his shit that he's running on under McCain, and it was just fascinating to see people. They just hear a name and they react.
And it's really weird to see somebody look. I just don't see a Joe Biden fan club out there too much, but he really, really loves this current president.
Yeah.
Like I said, they were using the term ball washing, which is funny because Quadfather was ball washing John, who in turn ball washes Joe Biden. I don't know. It's not the show for me. I'd rather watch it in clip form from you gentlemen.
Yeah, that's what we do for you, Brandon. Thank you for being a part of this and for watching that this week. Just real quick on the political stuff. I played this on WATP, but it was so funny. There was a super chatter who goes, John, if Democrats are so into paying taxes and stuff, how come the Biden family doesn't pay taxes? And John's response was, they do. Trump doesn't. It's like, do you not even know about Hunter Biden and the $1.4 million he owed to the IRS? Like, he doesn't pay attention to the news. He only gets it from one side. He has no idea what's going on, or he just ignores it or something. It's like you can't run a political show that way. It's embarrassing.
I'm rubber, you're glue. There, end of story.
Yeah. I know. Everything's just like, nope, but Trump does. Corn Diff, what did you pick up on from your viewings of John this week? Anything important that we should be talking about?
Just the general self-centeredness. That was my main takeaway. He never changes.
He turns everything. When we talked about it, when Cabby passed away, he was going to do this eulogy, and it just turned into how great he is. Like every clip he played, he's just like, and then looking at me with the shit whale, and this is me fighting Cabby. Look at how buff I am. It's just like, Jesus, John, dude. I mean, we're calling you a narcissist. Like, tone it down a little bit because we're kind of focusing in on that right now. It's not a good look.
He leans into it.
He's such an idiot. He's not leaning into it. He can't help it.
Right.
If he was leaning into it, that'd be one thing. He can't help himself.
Yeah, you're 100% right.
Shuli, what do we miss from this week that we should be talking about?
One of the highlights for me was when he read off a list of criminal activities of mine, and he got to a ticket that I got for fishing without a fishing license. He reads it. He doesn't even know what he read, and he finishes reading it, and he just looks at the screen. He goes, "They're all criminals over there." Because they're all criminals over there. I thought that was
fishing without a fishing license.
Yeah. It was the dumbest thing.
So compelling.
Pole went in the water. Woo! Little boat comes around the corner. They write us a ticket. End of the fishing weekend. And like, would you look what I found?
Can you believe these motherfuckers?
They're all criminals.
Real quick, just to wrap up a couple of things. Brock Lee is no longer returning John's calls or text messages.
Damn.
We learned that this week. I don't know what happened there. John's very upset.
Wow. Maybe Brock Lee's in Orlando on vacation, I heard.
Good point.
Yeah.
Very good point. He claims to have met Brock Lee in Atlantic City, but I don't hear anyone else claiming they met Brock Lee.
No.
I don't know.
Well, he's usually a man of his word, so I'm gonna
Right,
believe him on this one.
And then, of course, the David Gunn thing. Now, this is a little bit earlier in the week.
Yeah.
But DG, John's once ride or die, came on Shuli's show and said he played a prank on John.
Yeah. What's your verdict on this?
I have a very strong opinion on this.
Yeah.
That wasn't a prank. Like, leaving the bar without paying your tab is not a prank. It's crime. And the fact that you think that's a prank on John, well, he's a regular there, so I was going to make him look bad by having his buddy not pay his tab. It's like, that's not a prank either. It makes you look bad. You look like an asshole doing that.
Well, not only that, but the thing that kind of made me go, oh, wait a minute. And he wants to come back on and tell his side. So I'm gonna and I told him a no drink minimum if you want to come on.
Okay.
But my thing is like, okay, if you are going to play a prank on John and make him freak out or whatever, wouldn't you do it while he was at the pub?
Right.
He had left the pub.
Yeah.
That to me is where we get our wires crossed.
He was trying to get out of there without paying his tab. That's the only explanation for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So John, I took your side on this one.
Yeah, I think
I know that.
I mean, I'll let him talk and say his thing, but it's like,
yeah,
it's weird. Doesn't it make sense?
Didn't I call out DG from the beginning though? I knew that guy was a zilch.
Yeah. No, you were head of the not a fan club of DG. Yes.
Kitty gifted another one. Thank you very much. Bob's doing a COVID test, $2. I bet John hasn't paid his SAG after dues. I'm sure he has. And then Kitty, member for 1 month, says, did you hear that Carl and Shuli pay for views and memberships plus the super chats as well? What do you say?
I heard about that too.
I'm losing. You know, it's crazy because a couple years ago, I transitioned into podcasting full time, and all I do is lose hundreds of thousands of dollars every year. And I'm starting to think like maybe this isn't for me.
Yeah, but then you can't brag. You can't brag about the numbers.
Right, yeah. Let's keep doing it. All right.
Yeah.
Let's keep going further and further in debt.
Yeah.
Because it's fun. Brandon, the Drew Lane show. People check out that on YouTube.
The Drew Lane show. Yeah, check it out on YouTube. Give us a couple hits. I know that Drew, we started so late that he really wants to build that. So the Drew Lane show, anywhere you find your podcast, and as well as on YouTube. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate that.
Thanks for staying later than I expected. I appreciate you being on here.
Good times.
Always good to talk to you, Brandon.
Thank you.
Thanks, buddy. And corndiff.com is where you can find all things corn diff. Links to your YouTube channel.
Thank you again, Carl.
And your show, WGNN.
Yeah, couldn't even name it. So we got no name.
Did I just say the name? Didn't I just say
WGNN? It's WGNN. We got no name. We couldn't.
Oh, we got no name?
Yeah.
Look at how stupid I am. Look at how stupid I am, Corn Diff. Thanks for pointing that out to the world. And Shuli from the Shuli Network, go on his YouTube channel and subscribe to that.
Yeah, keep it down, Carl. I think Corn Diff's at a cancer ward. He's very low key. TSN, YouTube, Patreon, member up, get behind the wall. Thank you to the Godfather, Carl, WATP. Anytime, I'm here. Thank you.
Thank you, Shuli. Thank you guys so much for coming on. Jay Wolverine, $2. How much to not bring DG Pack? Name your price.
Wow. I just thought of a show where we hit our goal before we go live and then shut the show down.
Yes, that's actually a really good idea. If you don't want to see DG on the show, start super chatting.
All right, DG, we're on for this weekend, man. I'll hit you up.
All right, guys. At whoarethese.com, Hackamania.com, promo code WATP, 20% off. We'll be live in Vegas May 31st through June 2nd. Guys, thank you so much for doing the show. Always a good time. Always fun talking Dabbleverse.
Point Dabblepoint. A Stuttering John Melendez roundtable discussion.